Let's get to it. Our story starts on November 27th, 2017.
In addition to that fact, all right, there's another reason why I'm taking this time off in December, because I've been taking that time to spend some time with my girlfriend. And boom, immediately a bomb has been dropped. Everyone's probably like, oh, what the fuck? What? You're doing what? With who and how and what's what?
There you go. So, as you can see, that's all you need to know. But DSP revealed he had a girlfriend November 27th of 2017. Just 6 months or so after Leanna leaves, DSP finds himself another girlfriend. All right. Now, that's for a normal person. Hey, that might be fine. But DSP, as he is so public with, never leaves his house, has no friends. It's kind of weird, right? How did that happen? People start looking into it. People are looking at DSP's Twitter, obviously, because where else is he going to find somebody? Someone named Goutside Phil found this. Now, this is a first mention of someone known as Kimberly Brink, who will be a key player in our story. She has talked to DSP in the past. Hope you kick some ass, sneaked into the stream for a little while, hope you have a restful night. There is definitely history of Kimberly Brink interacting with Philip on Twitter. This was December 12th, 2017, okay? People start thinking this is who it could be. People start looking into this Kimberly Brink. As you can see from her profile, it's a high-class escort girl. DSP with an escort? You want it to be true. They found her website, escort website she was very public with, obviously. All rates are non-negotiable. I only accept cash, and it is paid before the session starts. That will play a key role in our story later, my friend. So remember that fact. Massages, you can only book if you live in the Netherlands, and she does it at home because she has a massage room. Okay, so that's pretty cool. All right, next up, more evidence comes to the fore. These are all tweets that were liked by Kimberly Brink. All of these tweets were about a girlfriend. We all know this was Catherine, but at the time, you can expect others to be more skeptical about this. Why would Kimberly Brink like these tweets? Next, we go to this one. That very same day. Traveling can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. On December 12th of 2017. As you can see, this is starting to be very interesting. I'm going to show you things here where you're going to say, man, everyone back then was kind of dumb. Everyone back then, how did they believe this shit? But I'm going to try to approach it in the way that put yourself in the shoes of the people back then. Now, they found another account, Gamer Kimberly, same exact person, that has been active since the very least 2015. It goes even further. In 2014, Gamer Kimberly wrote a tweet about DSP's hateful truth. She's been a fan of DSP for 3 years. Okay? I'm not done. 2014, 2 more tweets towards DSP Gaming. So you can see, this is the response. More from 2014. Kimberly Brink, this is from her other account. I seriously hate traveling in the U.S. All this stuff that I showed you is from people were finding in the same exact day, by the way. All the revelations I just showed you. That's how fast Kiwi Farms works, guys. This is all from the same fucking day. As you can see, more news about travel issues. DSP has been talking so much about travel issues, and Kimberly Brink is now saying the same thing about travel issues. Okay? Next up, how can I put it this way? There is no real Escort Saga metaphors, but there is an Escort Saga, which is what we're going over today. I mean, there's already some skeptical people, okay? As there should be. But there's some people already believing it at this point. But this is when Kimberly makes a move that some start questioning her even more. And that is, she starts tweeting more things about DSP, okay? So here's an example of that from the same day. It's the season to be jolly because Christmas time is coming. Bought some night decorations for the Christmas tree when I was in the U.S. past weekend, and I'm in a Christmas mood already. Now, as you know, there is a very famous image that DSP released of his girlfriend. It's like the most dented PowerPoint I've ever done in my life. On her website, she lists how tall she is, which is 5'7" in U.S. units, and she was born in 1994. So then people start analyzing the height of the person. This is how deep it started going. Dragon Killer says, I know it's just speculation, but come on, pretty obvious that Phil hired a fucking escort. So that means like the main Twitter dude in the Detractorverse at the time, let's say, said pretty obvious that he hired an escort. This is, again, December 12th, okay? Now, let's go to the videotape now. So on December 12th, DSP talks about his girlfriend again.
Shout out to Ben Megaman, who did a 10-bit cheer. He said, Phil, congrats on the girlfriend, wondering what kind of game she plays and how long was her flight. Good on you for keeping her going on the way back home. Well, let me put it this way.
Please.
She is a gamer, and she does like games, and she likes certain franchises. I believe one of her favorite franchises is Assassin's Creed, but she also plays a bunch of other stuff as well. But I'm not going to give you any details about her flight or nothing, dude. You know, I'm not going to give any...
Okay, so there we go. Now, Philip mentioned a single game that she liked there, didn't he? That game was Assassin's Creed. This saga is so insane. We're still talking about a single day of news that came out. What else came out on December 12th? A tweet from Kimberly Brink that says, just to the Assassin's Creed Twitter account, they say, oh, and it would be even more awesome if we could do some color customization like we could in Syndicate, but this game is definitely my favorite out of the series. This happened the same day as DSP says she likes Assassin's Creed. I am just sharing you the facts that happened in this universe. It is up to you to come up with your own conclusions, okay? Kimberly Brink says she has not showed up on Kiwi Farms yet. She will in a few days, but not yet. She says, now just to clarify, my bookings page is just for bookings, not the email nonsense questions that make no sense at all. Those go straight into the spam folder to be forgotten. Obviously, she's getting a fuck ton of detractors messages, right? She then says, people seem to be going nuts about what my current hair color is, as if it's such an important issue. But if you have to know, it's currently a beautiful auburn color to go with the holidays. Moving on. That very same day, it reaches the King of Hate forum, sticking up for DSP. Yeah, even on Kiwi Farms, they know it's a troll, which is saying something. Yes, a real prostitute who pretended to be Phil's client, as if Phil could afford to fly her in from the Netherlands, LOL, okay? We move on one single day. We move forward one single day in the timeline here. And that is from Kimberly Brink's Twitter. She says herself, I will be traveling back to the U.S. again in January for a follow-up weekend. A lot of people on Kiwi Farms are already thinking, hey, it's kind of, she's picking up a lot of talk now about the DSP shit. People are starting to question it, all right? Next up, let me say it again. I will never say a client's name or give any other info. Details of my clients are private, and as an escort, I will not violate the privacy that I guarantee, so therefore I will never say yes or no when asked if someone is a client or not. A lot of people are probably sending emails and asking if she's been with DSP, obviously. In case people didn't know, I'm an escort, and so I date and fuck people for money. It's what I do. It's also the oldest job on the planet, so nothing new. As for my personal life, that's none of anyone's business. People are still asking her what's going on, obviously. People found on Kiwi Farms that Slut Kimberly, as she's known, has been an escort for at least 2 years, okay? So this is proof that she, or at least this escort website, have been going since 2015, okay? Now, does that mean anything? We'll find out soon, okay? Next, we get our first mention of the escort from DSP, and that was on December 13th. Uh-oh.
So there you go. All right, I think we did it. We finally got through all the shout-outs. We got through everything.
Get to it. Oh, yeah, there we go. Sorry, excuse me. Someone did a subscribe. It said, Phil is dating an escort Kim. Just subscribe to the channel.
What the hell?
There you go.
I got a sub from someone. I don't even know what it said. Phil's dating oh, it's a stupid insult. These idiots.
Yeah, see.
I got it. This is hilarious. You guys will get a quick laugh.
Please read it.
So, ever since I announced over a week ago that I have a girlfriend, and I've had a girlfriend since the summer,
Quick
and I was
laugh,
going to be
guys.
spending time with her during my time off.
Quick laugh.
These people who, they literally have nothing going on in their personal lives whatsoever, all right? They're just so pathetic. They have no personal lives.
What do we do?
They've been desperately trying to figure out who my girlfriend is. They've been scouring Twitter, and my forums and my videos, everything, to try to find evidence of who my girlfriend could be. What they don't realize is that there's no evidence at all because I carefully protected everything. But first thing they did...
He carefully protected everything. Meanwhile... Kiwi Farms was very close to finding out all about Catherine soon after this saga ended, by the way. But yes, definitely carefully protected everything, and she's undoxable. Absolutely.
They're trying to say that apparently my girlfriend is a paid escort.
There you go.
What? It's just insanity. So I just got a troll sub from someone claiming, Phil's dating an escort named Kim. Sure I am.
There you
oh
go.
My God. I'm not dating an escort named Kim. If you think that, you are literally retarded.
There you go.
You should go put your head into a toilet and flush to try to wash the bullshit out of your fucking brain, because you are really stupid. Okay.
There you go.
No, that's right. It's Darth Radovan Viking with a wig. That's correct.
A lot of people said it was Vidar Viking, a very old DSP whale. He will play a role in the story coming forward. All right, so there we go. That was Philip has now mentioned it on his own streams. You know, people are saying stuff. December 14th, Philip shows his house decoration walkthrough vlog. Kimberly responds directly, says, nicely decorated, makes it look cozy and warm, really brings out the holiday feeling with a wink. Big news. It's a wink. She has winked. Then she does this. And this is where, obviously, it's impossible to know. But this is where I think it'd be pretty clear that this is all bullshit. In my opinion, but who the fuck knows back then, right? She says the following on December 14th, it sure gets dark early outside during this part of the year. She has uppercased a D, an S, and a P in this message. Okay. Next, we go to December 15th. Mystery woman starts a Kiwi Farms account. I will read the first post for you, okay? Let me tell you guys a little bit about dipshit Phil in real life. I have seen him 3 times, and the 3 times I have been with him were meh. For starters, sleeping next to him is a living hell if you don't bring earplugs. He snores like a freaking monster. His breath smells as if he hasn't brushed his teeth in forever. Then there are the strange, most irritating noises that he makes when he sleeps, almost like a constant growl. Very irritating, to say the least. You thought the snorting on stream is bad? Well, don't go sleeping next to him. Now for someone who says that he has a tight budget because of so many financial problems, I sure as hell haven't noticed anything about that, because first of all, he took me out to dinner a lot, and it was always at fancy restaurants where the cheapest meal is like $25. Remember those days? And we had something in between costing like $45 a meal each. The only couple times we went to a fast food restaurant, he ordered 2 complete meals for himself and I for me. So again, not cheap. And why 2 meals is actually beyond my understanding, but okay, maybe a big eater. He also bought a bunch of new Blu-rays because he wanted to watch some movies together. Now, you guys probably all know that those ain't cheap. Now, imagine a little kid in a candy store seeing Blu-rays. Yes, that is dipshit Phil. He is like a kid going to a toy store, so the ones he wants, he has to get no matter the cost. To make this story about shopping not too long, you guys get the point by now. He is a shopping addict, and I mean really addicted to shopping. I'm not even mentioning the things he orders online. But anyway, we went out and did some things together, not going to detail here, but for the weekends I visited, he must have spent around $800 a weekend at least, if not more. Even and I was only with him for weekends, now you can imagine what he could spend in a week. And then he was supposed to have bad credit. If that was true, why would he spend so much on things you don't really need at all? Sure, it's nice to get these things and to give me things, but hey, if you're short on cash, then why spend money you don't have? Okay, seen a lot of you guys talk about Leanna and her stuff still being there. Yes, I can confirm there is still stuff stored from her there. When I asked about it, he said he didn't come around to it yet because he was too busy in the work which he is gaming and his addiction shopping. He said he is going to send her stuff up to her new address as soon as he can. He wants to get to the room empty and her stuff out. Okay? As for the picture frame, I'm not sure which one he filmed because you can't see he has 3 different ones. One with Leanna and him, one with me and him, and one with him and some other lady who could be his mom. Phil places things in certain spots on purpose, then he acts like he accidentally filmed it. In my opinion, after spending those 3 weekends with him and him talking about his haters, the reason he does that is to try and outsmart you guys. Not really working, but hey, leave him in his fantasy that he is smart. Okay, you get the point. She goes on for a while and forever. She says then, I will be on here more often, and I found a place to be where I can speak without having to keep quiet and still be somewhat anonymous, although I'm sure some can make a pretty good guess who I am. So that was her first post on Kiwi Farms. Now, she said a lot of things that a lot of detractors would assume is true. You know what I mean? Right? She can't sleep. He snores a lot. He buys a lot. He's a spending addict. It's believable, right? We're still on like the 3rd day of this happening and people are already unraveling it, you know? So, anyways, Null now signs in on December 15th and says, I can't actually verify her story, but I know who she is with certainty. Her story is credible, which means not completely impossible. I just can't say that the events described actually transpired. Though, if Phil displeases this person any further, we may actually obtain such evidence, which would be funny. So, as you can see, Null is saying, hey, if Phil keeps pissing her off, she might share more proof about this. Okay, and one more thing from Null this very same day, and said, she is who she says she is, and it is very possible she is not lying. That's all I can say. It's very possible she is not lying. Next up, Kimberly switches her tone on Twitter, and she gets more serious. She says, I say just this, pay me, motherfucker, or you're gonna be sorry you wish I had cut your tiny fucking cock off instead. Not even the backlash you will be getting from my hubby who oversees my business. She has turned on Twitter to be actively attacking DSP. By the way, by now I also know who to send it to. They will have a damn field day with this if they get their hands on it. A little pissed off right now. If it doesn't change by this weekend, I'm going to release this screenshot I took for my DM. I don't like to be treated like this, just saying. Kimberly now threatens to share a screenshot of something. Now, people on Kiwi Farms are saying, okay, well, you know who you are. You're on Kiwi Farms here. You should be able to share a picture with us now, right? Because that'll end this. Share a picture. We know it's you. Okay? Makes sense to me, too, for that request. Well, Mystery Woman says, simply put, because I don't have pictures, he has a couple per agreement. Why the fuck would I want with his picture? No, thank you. It's business, and I leave that when I leave. No pictures of men needed. All right? So that's why she doesn't have pictures. Okay? Now, I'm not sure in the timeline when this happens. She also starts bringing up an NDA, is why she can't share things. Because they signed an NDA. And Null read the NDA, or at least the pictures of it. It was heavily redacted, he said. But it did appear to be a believable NDA. Okay? Mystery Woman, again, very active on Kiwi Farms at this point. Says, let me remind everyone, I never said it was me in those pics with the Christmas tree. But I can say he has a thing for brunettes and redheads, and I also said there was a third woman who I have no idea who that would be, as there was no one there but me and him. When I was there, I'm just saying I've been with him 3 times this year. That's who it has been there. In between is as good a guest to me as it is to you guys. Maybe his mom, maybe a friend, maybe a neighbor. No idea, and don't care either who else he fools around with. Now I'm going off because I got things to do. Have a good night or day all. She would make a deadline on when he needs to get paid, okay? Actually, he has till the end of the weekend to contact me and get back to me because he has 4 weeks to pay me, which is longer than we first agreed upon because I was supposed to be paid by now. But I told him he can have some extra time being the holidays and all. but then breaking all contact is what pissed me off, which makes me suspicious if he is even going to pay or simply run away from a payment agreement. All right? Now, again, remember she said, good day all, have a good one? She's writing more paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. This is also the first mention of a strap-on. I wanted to show you that because that will be important later. It says, anyway, he has until January 13th to pay me. As long as he pays me after that, he can go fuck himself with his strap-on. With his strap-on. That was the first mention of a strap-on. All right? She then says, but she will call him in between, before or after his first stream. Then she says again, the very same day, actually the only reason he booked me was because I had been following his game streams since I was still in school, and he had constant contact with him, so he trusted me more than a random escort. She is now saying why Philip would trust her more than random escort from a different website. It's heavily redacted because the two-way non-disclosure agreement. For the agreement to be valid, both partners of the NDA must uphold their agreements, which in this case include not violating the NDA itself. Okay, so there is an NDA and Null has seen it. Next piece of evidence happens. There was a change on her schedule of her website. On January 12th to 15th, she has something on her schedule, and that involves Seattle, Washington, USA. There'll be no booking possible. This is a reserve date. Also, February is black only month for those interested. And also it says on the bottom, I don't accept bookings in December as always. She claimed that she was with Philip in December. So what is this I don't accept bookings in December nonsense? Well, she responds to that very point and says, true, in any normal case, I would not take a booking in December, but he specifically asked in November if I can make a friend-wise exception with the holidays coming up and all, and him not having anyone to be with. So I did, but told him it had to be the second weekend of December because otherwise I couldn't make it since December is normally reserved for friends and family time. So all of you that thought she doesn't take bookings in December, you are debunked. Next, we have mystery woman here claims to know Leanna. So she says, I have her phone number. That's how I know. I helped Leanna out with some Sims 4 mods like 2 years ago, and we exchanged numbers. Phil probably doesn't even know this and probably doesn't even care. So, Mystery Woman is now claiming to know Leanna and have her number. We do have 2 tweets from 2014 in which Kimberly Brink talks about The Sims. That part of the story checks out. We don't know if she was talking to Leanna, but we do know that on both of her accounts, she talked about The Sims. Philip now is feeling that he has to respond. Says, stupid people looking for drama are incredibly gullible. They will believe anything they're told that creates scandal, whether or not there is factual evidence at all. And sadly, a lot of human beings are stupid. I know firsthand. I have to deal with tons of them daily. Lol. The good news is, when you know the truth about something, it's incredibly enjoyable to sit back and watch the stupid people fabricate the most ludicrous things because they don't have any real facts. My holly jolly popcorn is being feasted upon lately. Haha. Nailed him. Got him, Philip. Next up, Mystery Woman says that DSP has called and said how sorry he was for not answering the calls. Then she claims that he also said he's afraid about not being able to make the payments. Okay? That is what Mystery Woman claimed. We move on to January 16th. And now Philip can't resist talking about it again, okay? I want to show you something first. This is from Goutside Phil again, and he makes an observation about the video I'm about to send you here. It says, no snorting, burping, or throat clearing tonight, like something is on his mind, distracting him from his tics. Phil's chat is in followers-only mode, and DSP only had a 5-minute pre-stream. King Jad said the same thing. Phil's behavior last night was abnormal, says King Jad. He says, does not prove anything, but certainly adds to the suspicions. We all know Phil will end up paying, though, if indeed true, which means there'll be no more Escort Revenge revelation. Phil's fans always deliver the money he needs when he cries about it, whether from Patreon or Twitch. So King Jad is sharing that information, saying he did act strange. How about Null himself, who says, I don't usually watch DSP stuff, so when I turned in to see what he had to say about Kimberly, I was quite shocked to see him immediately jumping into the game. Eventually, I was told by others that it was extraordinarily unusual for him to have a 5-minute pre-stream. Okay? So that's our biggest piece of evidence so far. Something's gotten him so worked up, he's actually concentrating on playing video games. Okay? That's what Null says. Now, let's see about that pre-stream.
All right, so what else do we have to talk about today? Not too much.
Yeah.
I'll just say a couple brief things, folks.
Please.
Number one, and I kind of want to get this off my chest, even though I kind of did on Twitter last night, real quick. I'm not going to waste time with it, okay?
Okay, good.
FYI, folks, you really should not believe everything that you hear, and I know a lot of you probably have not heard the stupid rumors that the idiotic morons of the internet are spreading about me right now. They're all completely incorrect, by the way. They're saying some of the most ridiculous things. So,
like what?
Since you guys know, I revealed about 2 weeks ago that I have a girlfriend and I was going to be spending time with her during my time off. These group of stalkers, this group of no-life idiots who all they want...
Like, him being so panicked is wild, right? Like, if it's not true in any way, which we know now, why would you be worried about this? I think Philip might have been so worried that people would believe it's true, you know? But it's pretty easy if it's not true to say, yeah, people are fucking idiots, man. Like, it's so easy to think, but he was worried about it, which led to people believing it more.
What I want to do is get into my personal shit. Have done every possible thing they can to find out information about my girlfriend. They have failed. They found absolutely no information whatsoever about her. Zero. Okay? Zero. But that being said, they've done everything that they possibly can to lie and make shit up. So then... someone went out there and said, oh, well, since we have no legit information on Phil's girlfriend, because Phil's not revealing anything, let's make shit up, of course, to make Phil look bad. So they went and made or at least took over or did something with some kind of a catfishing Twitter account. And I've seen Twitter accounts like this before. In fact, it was actually when I used to stream on Twitch, way back when. We're talking to 2013 to 2014, all right? When I used to stream on Twitch, the first time that I streamed on Twitch, before I came back last year, there were people who would come in here and pretend to be hot girls. Oh, I'm a hot girl, and, you know.
Philip would kind of fall for that, Philip? Did you fall for that? Did you click any of those links?
Here's my Twitter, here's my Instagram account, all these half-naked pics of me. And
I clicked a few of them, but they were all fake.
You can hire me. If you go to this website and
but you can't really hire them. I tried it, but you can't hire them. I was pissed.
We're talking through this payment method and all this shit, and I'll take pictures for you and all that. It's crazy. It's crazy what people will do on the internet because it's all fake, by the way.
Oh.
It really is all fake bullshit.
You checked it though, right?
But the problem is there's so many desperate single young idiots out there who are just so desperate for attention from a female, they'll believe anything.
Mm-hmm. Nope.
So the latest controversy, which is not a controversy at all, it's all completely fabricated.
But you're making it sound like a controversy right now.
By these same idiots who also want to cause drama. They can't find any real information on my girlfriend, so they fabricate this story that I hired an escort to come visit me during my Christmas break. I paid her thousands of dollars or owe her thousands of dollars, apparently. I don't even know what the full story is because I'm not really following it. All I know is that all of a sudden, I started seeing this particular Twitter account of supposedly some girl who started liking all my tweets, faving all my tweets, responding positively to all my tweets. Now, normally, when you see someone like that, oh, it's a new viewer, a new fan, or someone who maybe is a fan of mine or whatever. But people started messaging me and saying, Phil, just so you know and you're aware, it seems oddly weird that this account is directly or indirectly referencing you every single day.
So if it's just that, guys, if it was just that, some new account interacting with DSP, it's easy to say that's stupid, but like I showed you already, they were interacting, or she was interacting with him on Twitter since 2014. That is a full 3 years before the date we are at right now. So it's not like some new account just decided to message DSP. This account was interacting with DSP for 3 years. So it makes it more believable that maybe there's a history there. It's not some random new Twitter account that messaged DSP at all, like he's trying to make it sound.
And this account is directly referencing things that you're saying on stream. So I'll give you an example. Well, someone asked me, in a cheer, someone asked me, what are some of my girlfriend's favorite video games?
Yes.
And I don't particularly remember what I said, but I said, she likes some big AAA releases, but she is both a PC and a console gamer. But in particular, she really likes the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm not even kidding you. When I said that, immediately on this Twitter account, this girl supposedly says, oh, I love Assassin's Creed, and here's a picture of Assassin's Creed. So basically what this person is doing, it's a fake account. It's a fake Twitter account. It's not legit. It's a catfishing person yet again.
So Philip's right on this. He wouldn't know it yet. It's not proven yet, but he would be right on this one.
Pretending to be an escort that apparently is claiming came to visit me during Christmas and that I owe her money or something. I don't even know because, again, I don't read the account. I just know what people are telling me. I don't deal with this stupid shit.
You don't read it, but yet you know everything it says.
But you may have noticed the past few days, there's idiots coming in here. It's all the fucking same gullible morons who believe everything because they're such morons. Mm-hmm. They've been coming in here saying, oh, you owe money to your escort. What about your escort? These people are fucking idiots. They actually believe this. That's the sad part, that they're actually so gullible. They actually believe this is fact.
Kiwi Farms, as you know, was already heavily questioning this and looking very much into finding the proof about this woman. So it's not like the entire internet detractorverse is like, yeah, it's definitely her. People are actively looking into her to see if it's true or not. And they would find the answer, too, from their interest in this person. So,
my God, you people are stupid if you believe that shit. Unreal. It was funny because I just said the other day.
Here's the funny part.
The other day that I would never in my lifetime, never, all right, would I ever pay for something like that. That's ludicrous to me. That's absolutely ludicrous to me. Okay? That people would pay for the attention of a woman. Ladies and gentlemen, you may not be aware of this. There's more women on planet Earth than men.
Yeah, how many can you get?
Statistically, it's proven. There's way more women than men. Okay?
Oh, it's a numbers game.
If anything, it's the women who are going to have problems finding a mate, right?
That is a weird take, isn't it? To think that's how it works? Yes, women just fuck people because there's more guys around. There's less guys around. Oh, that's how it happens?
Women who are going to have problems finding a mate, right?
Finding a mate. Do you... Who calls it a mate? Yes, I'm looking for a mate. How are you? Do you want to go out to eat? I'm looking for a mate.
I've never had that problem. In my lifetime, I've never had that problem. Never. If I've ever needed the attentions of a woman, all right.
What do?
I can
go to Twitter
and get them. The thing is, I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not the kind of guy. Oh man, I'm just gonna get laid. I run out there and get laid. I'm not like that. I've never been like that. I'm more of a kind of guy that I'd rather get to know a girl, have a relationship,
message on Twitter
with her, talk to her a ton, and have something meaningful. That's just me. There's plenty of people out there who just like the physical side of it. And by the way, I'm not criticizing that. Listen, if you need that physical love all the time, hey, whatever.
Philip is now soft admitting he doesn't need that.
That's how you float your boat. For me, I like something more meaningful than just a sexual encounter that I pay money for. So for me, that's ludicrous. There's so many women out there, right? They say there's other fish in the sea. Dude, the sea is overpopulated. It's true. So I don't get it. Maybe...
See how he's over-explaining why he doesn't have an escort? Like, it's just adding fuel to the fucking fire here, right? Just be normal and say you didn't do it. Now he's talking about how there's more women than men more men than women on Earth. It's like, what are we doing here?
It's just me. Maybe because I've had luck in my life with women. But,
oh, definitely.
I don't know. That blows my mind that people would even pay for the attention of a woman. It really does.
He always sounds like he's lying no matter what he's talking about. Even if he's not lying, which he's not at this point.
But that being said...
It just sounds like he is.
That's absolutely ridiculous that these idiots would think that, you know, an escort, I paid thousands of dollars, or I owe thousands of dollars for an escort to fucking come during Christmas. The other thing that's absolutely hilarious, idiots actually believe that an escort would actually be with someone for an entire weekend or a long weekend and not get paid. Are you stupid? Do you really think that an escort would spend that much time with someone and then without getting paid first?
See, he's adding all this stuff. You don't have to say all this. He's now explaining how, oh, that payment system's ridiculous. Every escort I've ever known, they require payment up front, which is true. But why are we saying this? It should be very simple to explain this away if it's not true. I never had a fucking escort. I wouldn't do that. And you're done.
I mean, you have to be a moron, but then again, these are just dumb kids. That's what I mean. But I just thought, I think it's hilarious. I'm sitting back and I'm seeing these idiots come into streams, oh, escort and stuff. I'm like, what? And you know that GIF, because I just posted on Twitter yesterday, that GIF of Michael Jackson eating popcorn in a movie theater from Thriller? Like, that's what it is. It's like me just sitting back and laughing my ass off at how stupid these people are. Seriously. It's just stupidity. I shake my head at how stupid it is that these dumb, gullible kids, they will literally fabricate anything to create drama just so there's drama. Because right now, let's face it, what drama is there? I mean, yeah.
We hear this all the time, even today, don't we? There's nothing going on, so they make drama.
Financially, I'm in a bind, but people have been very supportive. People are coming out on streams and being very positive, right? There's not a lot of negativity around me right now, which is good. In fact, it's the holiday season. Those things have been going really well. So let's fabricate something, because there's really not much negative to say about Phil these days. So let's just make shit up. Oh, he hired an escort to come during Christmas. It's like, what?
And again, no one was like actively saying this is the case, right? No one's saying this is what's going on. The thread on Kiwi Farms was actively just trying to figure out if it's true or not. It's not like, yes, DSP has an escort. Now, later in the story, people would come out and say it's like a truth on Reddit and stuff, but we're not at that point yet.
It's so fucking funny. It's ridiculous.
In this case, he knows people are wrong about him, so he's gonna, squeeze it for all it's worth.
Like, to me, that's so immature and dumb. I don't think that's funny at all. I think it's just so stupid. To me, it's funny to see the idiots believe it. That's what's funny to me, to see how dumb people are to actually believe that dumb shit. But, anyway, FYI, folks, rest assured, completely ludicrous, not true at all.
Okay.
What ended up happening was, someone, again, people monitor this shit for me and come to me and tell me whenever there's something that seems like it could be harmful to me. And they say, well, if you're aware, this particular Twitter account now
Flying monkeys then
is literally alluding to you every 5 minutes. Like, every tweet that this person puts out has something, like, they're basically listening to all your streams, taking information you're saying and twisting it to try to act like they were actually the person there with you during the Christmas break. And they're every 5 seconds they're saying, the dark
a lot about it
side and shit like that. I said, all right, enough is enough. I'm not, whatever. Goodbye. And I blocked the fucking Twitter account because I just didn't want to, it's so stupid. Now that I blocked the Twitter account, Phil didn't, I guess, again, I don't know. I'm not reading the Twitter account. They're blocked, but someone said that now they're...
Why can't you just say you read it, man? Look how bent out of shape he is to say, I haven't read it. Someone's saying, he was like scared to say that.
Oh, Phil didn't want to, it's so stupid. Now that I blocked the Twitter account, Phil didn't, I guess, again, I don't know, I'm not reading the Twitter account, they're blocked, but someone said that now they're accusing me of
I haven't read it, by the way, someone told me this, but here's exactly what it said.
Not paying for the escort service, which is hilarious. Like I said, no escort on the planet Earth would escort without getting paid first. It's not how it works. You pay first, then the service happens. It's not the other way around.
Well,
okay?
escort expert DSP chiming in.
So that's pretty stupid. That has happened, but the thing is, people are so dumb. They'll take that Twitter account. That's evidence. There you go. There's the evidence. This is factually happening. It's like, what? At this point, folks,
we're not done. Jesus,
it's so ludicrous because it'd be one thing if you take something that has a nugget of truth. In the past, there's things that I've done that are really bad, and people will take that nugget of truth and twist it into something, negative about me and make a big meme on the internet about it or whatever, right? There's literally not a piece or nugget of truth whatsoever in this one. This is like...
Well, actually, there's a lot. She had travel tweets in the same exact day about your travel mistakes. She has interactions with DSP since 2014 on Twitter on both accounts. She's a gamer that likes DSP, And she said she has red hair. Now, again, a lot of this stuff is just shit she said, but there is a lot of things that point to this could be true, right? But yeah.
100% fabricated, because I've done due diligence to make sure that no one gets any information about my girlfriend, so they're going to make shit up, literally.
All right. Well, they wouldn't need to make shit up a month after this, because he kept challenging everyone on the farms.
I love it.
Done yet, or?
Anyway, folks, that being said, don't believe the bullshit, especially now. Again, they pulled this off during the holiday season because again, no self-consciousness, no morality, nothing. They just think it's funny to fuck with people. Well, you're not fucking with me, because I'm not. My followers don't believe your dumb shit. It's only the dumb drones of the internet who follow you around and watch your stupid drama videos on YouTube anyway that are completely worthless. Yep. Who care about your dumb fucking shit that you make up? You have no talent. You have no fucking, worth in life. This is all you do. You couldn't actually have a positive following anywhere because you don't do anything worthwhile for anybody. So,
yeah. I prefer the begging positive content.
So there you go, folks. I just think it's kind of funny.
We done yet or not yet?
All right, everybody. So we're about to play Battlefront 2.
Okay. DePasta maker with a good point. Maybe he's scared that the scuttlebutt would scare Cat away. That could be. I didn't think about that angle of it, but he might be worried about that. And like trying to talk it away in typical DSP fashion, which makes it way worse. That's a good point. Next up. Okay, so Kimberly, again on December 16th, says, my P is like the IRS. If you play, you gotta pay. And if you don't pay, then you're in for surprises you didn't expect. So she's adding an IRS joke here. Okay. Then she says, one thing I hate is having to chase after clients and having to do things to make them pay for what they receive service for. Costs me extra time for something they shouldn't even be needed. Well, at least he kept his promise and called back with a payment plan. Now he better sticks to it. If you book my companionship, you got to pay for it. Simple as that. Okay. Kimberly now is picking up the anger. Men with 4-inch members. That doesn't have to be a problem if you know how to use it properly. But if you then go within 2 minutes, if I should even call it that, in, out, and go, that's just sad. You need to train yourself and start controlling your Oh, sorry. This was a DM she sent to me. Sorry about that. That's personal. Kim, this was personal. We don't need to bring this up. Thank you. Mystery Woman then says, someone asks on the farms and says, are there dick pics? Mystery Woman explains and says, no, but I do have something better than that, for which he paid extra and signed an exclusive extra NDA line for the agreement contract. And yes, of course, I have my copy of it, and yes, it will be shown if he doesn't pay, because it will only then breach the NDA I have with him. And no, this is not about the companionship contract, which will also be public then, as I mentioned that before. All right, so now there's something else she has that's better than a dick pic. All right? Now, while all this is going on, you might think, well, it's all bullshit. She's kind of getting too hot now. She's flying too close to the sun. Well, DSP sends tweets out like this and says, still having a really hard time sleeping. I have positive things ahead of me, but such a huge roadblock with these taxes due. I love 2017 so much, and I want that to continue, but I'm at the mercy of the government. I love this house and state, and I don't want to leave. So people are saying, wow, must be thinking about this escort shit a lot, huh? If you can't sleep, even though he's talking about the taxes, you know how people would say. Mystery Woman again says, she mentions wolf porn, okay? And you might guess what that is, wolf. Excuse me, she says this. Not as far as I know, it's illegal in the U.S. to have or own the kind of porn that he watches. So this is really getting deep here. Like, say what you will about DSP, but I don't think he's, like, sexually depraved and would be into that kind of stuff as Mystery Woman is proclaiming here. You know what I mean? I don't see him being that sexual of a person to be not sexual enough to even be weird about it. You know what I mean? But again, I'm just sharing you what was said. He is weirdo, but that's what I think. Well, who the fuck knows? Anyways, Kim changed her Twitter picture to that color. So a picture of that color. Again, this is very intentional. Her color of her Twitter was changed to be slightly red. People are thinking about this now. Twitch chat shows up and says, "Hey, Darkside Phil, the escort lady is trying to create a narrative that you watch wolf stuff." Darkside Phil responds and says, "Are you a moron? Sorry, I have to ask. Because you seem to think there actually is an escort lady." This person says, "Oh, she has a fake account?" "No shit, Sherlock. Escort lady is a detractor catfish account. It's only insanely obvious if you actually read like 2 tweets." Kimberly then says, "Yummy. This piece of cheese tastes better than 4-inch. Delicious." We're up to December 19th now and says, "Hey, Twitch, just want to let you guys know I have answered the email and attached the requested info. If anything else is needed, let me know." Threatening to take action on Twitch. DSP responds to this.
Oh, that's interesting. A fan just PM'd me and says that the fake account that claims that an escort that supposedly was here for Christmas, which is complete bullshit, is apparently trying to report me to Twitch and Patreon. Okay, go ahead. What are you going to say? Completely make shit up?
There you go.
Twitch and Patreon don't care about your bullshit.
We are 4 days into the saga right now. 4. Things are moving awful fast.
What exactly are you going to say? Just tell them the same bullshit story that you're telling everyone else. That you have no fucking evidence to corroborate at all. Go right ahead. I'm sure that they're going to give a shit about you, dummy. Fucking morons. Seriously, that's what I mean. People with no fucking lives.
All right, so Philip mentions it. There we go. She says again on December 18th, "Having a great time when you find out you can screw someone over that tried to screw me over without breaking anything. Thanks to my dear husband for always looking out for his wife by looking into options. I love him. Revenge is going to be sweet. Never screw over this bitch," says Kimberly. We finally move to the next day, and it starts with a countdown. Kimberly Brink tweets a countdown to when Philip is expected to pay up. Got it? Gotta pay up. This is now the next day after that one. Someone says, "I wanted to share some evidence I found early on in the Mystery Woman saga. I suggest you sit down before you open it because it may surprise you. I can't show you this, but what was in this post was a picture of men's genitals with the name Kimberly Brink written on them from years in the past, proving that she, at the very least, has had successful clientele at the time." You know what I mean? So there was pictures of it during this thing. I can't show it, but it's proof that it does that she, at the very least, tricked other guys into writing her name on themselves. Okay? Just letting you know. Next up, we have, someone said, this is April 14th. Again, more on that. She's been doing this since at least 2014. Because here is a comment from Kimberly Brink. "I had a client once who had a pinky size thing, but he still managed to give me lots of pleasure." This is from 2014. It's not a new account that's doing this. At the very least, we know it's been going on for a long fucking time. She continues to be pissed. "By the way, I don't give a fuck if your fucking Patreon is doing bad. Fuck you. Pay me. Blah, 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 blah." She's pissed about not being paid. Stream chat at the time, to DSP's chat, says, "I can pretend to be an escort that is not a real on a forum. It doesn't make the two things connected." DSP says, "Are you fucking retarded? Real escorts don't tweet about escorting. That's literally against the code of escorting." What's the code of escorting? That's against the code of escorting. See, all this dumb shit that DSP is saying is adding to it. How does he know about the code? Philip made this way worse for himself. The code of escorting. Come on, man. So real escorts don't tweet about escorting. That's literally against the code of escorting. It's that simple. The story is 100% false and there's no facts at all, just hearsay. This Twitter account claiming something that's blatantly false, so if you believe that, you're a moron. And I'm not going to have my chat overrun with talk about that nonsense. There you go. So remember the code. Kimberly responded exactly to that comment she saw. Real escorts don't tweet about escorting, he says. Haha, sure. That's why pretty much every escort tweets to promote their business. It's called free advertising, Dumbo. Welcome to the 21st century. Well, apparently, Kim doesn't know the code. As well as DSP does, dumb bitch. The next following day, Brightside Viking, who is a famous, not famous is the wrong fucking word, but a whale of note from DSP's past. Okay, and he enters the story to defend his daddy. Kimberly says, Patreon's going backwards. Brightside Viking responds and says, I don't know who you are. Why don't you give it a rest? No one believes your shit. It's not any evidence for it. I just think you have been either hacked this Twitter or have too little to do. In any case, it isn't funny. So he chimes in there. Kimberly says, I'm just cracking up. Here is that he said January is going to be a disaster. Yep, if you don't pay in time, it will be a disaster for you. Because Philip was begging based on the taxes at this point. A lot's going on at this point. We are begging very heavily for our taxes at this point, saying things such as, January is going to be a disaster for me. And Kimberly takes the opportunity to say, well, yeah, it's going to be a tough January if you don't pay me, bitch. So there we go. Hope you're enjoying things so far here. People start making memes I have to share. Phil, I want my money, Phil. You pay me, you'll be sorry. Do you hear me, Phil? From Metal Gear. Shout outs to the maker of this one. I thought that was funny. We're December 23rd now, getting closer to Christmas. And says, what the fuck? Calling me out of bed at 6:35 in the fucking morning to tell me you miss me and that you're sorry and that you want me to come back again. Get the fuck out of here. I'm sleeping, you crazy fuck. You were a client and nothing more, you fucking crazy fuck. Now let me sleep. Okay? Again, very funny. If that's true, we want to believe. We want to believe like that was true, but seems a little fishy, but who knows, who knows. Jericho says, so bad at damage control, he made it more believable. And that's the whole part of this thing that's crazy. That's what made this that's what gave this so much fucking, like, believability, is that. Because he explains things so poorly and acts so freaked out about it that some people did believe it. Yeah, Jason, some people did believe it still. But let's get real. Some people were believing it, but heavily, heavily questioning it, right? It's time we get some proof here. But she kept using the NDA as a reason to not show proof. And let's just say at the beginning that was believable. And when I say in the beginning, I'm talking like, 4 days ago since the part we're at now. But it's kind of wearing thin, the patience of everyone on that thread, in my opinion, of course. I wasn't around back then. Only King Jad was. So now we're going to enter into what is known as the Brownie Gate. So this is very stupid, but I have to share it with you nonetheless. If I don't share it, no one else will. There was a mention of brownies on December 27th, 2017. Mystery Woman says the following. This is so fucking dumb. The only good food we ate in his house was the food I made. Heck, I even made him Dutch brownies after a recipe I had from my mom. MRANNON on Kiwi Farms asks very direct question to Mystery Woman and says, the quote you made in the earlier post about baking Dutch brownies at DSPs. Did you also bake cookies? Also, what kind of cookies were they, and what was special about them? Just curious. Okay, so this little sleuth here is asking questions of Kimberly. She responds and says, depends what cookies you refer to. We made 3 different kinds. One you might call special, since we put powdered sugar on it, but I wouldn't say it's special. but if Phil has a question, he can ask me himself instead of sending me one of his mods here, since you said you were his mod on Twitter. And this person on Kiwi Farms also messaged Kimberly on Twitter, and she just showed that screenshot. Now, this gentleman thinks he solves the puzzle at this point and says, now I know you're lying. You did not make 3. The chocolate and powdered sugar was obvious from his Instagram, but you failed to mention what was in them that made them special. Go ahead and release what you have. I am betting it's nothing. Or on the 12th, are you going to say he miraculously paid you? Stop BSing us! Like these Dutch brownies that were not Dutch and were out of a box. Now what? Okay, well, Brownie Gate's far from over. He then released the DMs were released from this person who says, hey, Phil, did your girlfriend happen to give you that recipe for the brownies she baked you over visit? Looking for a good recipe, and remember you saying they were very good. Now, this is an op that this MRANNON is trying to pull. What he's trying to do is to catch them in a lie, okay? He's trying to catch him in a lie because he said, he's trying to catch Mystery Woman in a lie here because she said that it was a recipe from her mom or whatever. So he's trying to figure out if Philip would say that as well. Well, Philip says, oh, they were just Ghirardelli chocolate brownies out of the box, but she made these great chocolate espresso cookies too from a recipe, but I don't remember what they were actually called. Oh, coffee cookies sounds good. Yeah, they had espresso in them. They were super good. Was it a recipe or from a book? I believe it was a recipe from Martha Stewart, actually. Ha, okay. This is all from that gentleman. Now, he's back. MRANN says, I now believe her. Phil pretty much convinced me. In a post yesterday about Phil's cooking, Kimberly made a comment that she made Dutch brownies. So I was thinking, hey, I'm going to catch her in a lie about brownies. In an underhanded way, I asked Phil that if I was looking for a good recipe and that I heard him talk about how his girlfriend made some outstanding brownies during her visit, Phil replied with they were just some boxed brownies, but she made some really good chocolate espresso cookies. Right there, I ignored his comment on the brownies and focused on the cookies when trying to catch Kimberly in a lie. The thing about his brownie comment is he pretty much confirmed Kimberly's post earlier. And what makes this damning is that Phil never mentioned anything about brownies on his streams, Twitter, or Instagram. So Kimberly couldn't have known. Now what? Kimberly, I am sorry if I accused you of lying earlier. Thanks for opening my eyes. Just want to warn you, though. Knowing Phil, his next move is to claim that you are blackmailing him. Thanks to the brownies, we have proven once and for all that this is true. And Kimberly Brink did join DSP in Seattle for an escorting stint, right? Stay tuned to find out. On Darkside Phil says on December 29th of his own stream, whenever someone mentions Kim, it's a nice band for that mom. Haha. Will brownies become a banned word too? Darkside Phil says, apparently brownies is the new troll stuff. So, yes, they are banning the word brownies. There is no panic here. I was just trying to figure out what everyone was referencing. As expected, it's incredibly stupid. I don't even know the real story. I guess someone claimed an escort made me brownies. Someone, a predecessor to the kick names in chat, says there's a YouTube user known as the Smoking Brownie. The Smoking Brownie was quickly banned, unfortunately, but the Smoking Brownie shall live on forever. It was also at this moment that Null himself added a brownie to the Kiwi Farms logo. I don't have an image of that for you, but it was a thing. Where there's brownie smoke, there is often brownie fire. I agree. Someone then says, Kozatov, the same person that was before we saw, says, the person leaking everything wasn't a nobody, it was your chat mod. Darkside Phil response is, there is no leak. There's a DM convo from Twitter about brownies. That's not a leak. Well, we have a video from this time as well.
All right, wait till you hear. You're not going to believe how stupid this is.
Oh,
I can't
trust
believe
me.
how stupid this is.
We've seen a lot of stupid stuff so far today. Can you give us more?
This is so dumb. Apparently, there's a post from this person claiming that during the time when this escort was staying with me, she made me her homemade recipe of Dutch brownies. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Very key.
Whatever.
Thank you for pointing that out. Thank you, Philip. Go ahead.
So, it was the other day. Was it the other day or was it yesterday? I don't even remember. Actually, I can probably confirm this.
Like, he can't say anything. How he's talking makes it seem like you want to believe. Because he can't talk normally. He has to act like everything's fishy.
Because I don't even know what's today.
Who cares?
What is today's date? I don't even know. The 29th. I have someone who has been a longtime fan of mine and a supporter and a moderator as well on various different things, like my forums or my stream chat and stuff like that over the years. Okay, and this person has helped me out tremendously.
That's the guy.
In fact, sometimes they go behind the scenes of stuff going on with these people who seek to hurt me and gets inside information. Okay. Boy, this is the same.
Phil is lying, donates $2 and says, Phil is stuttering because he's trying to make a story up, which it does sound like.
Person, by the way, who's been tipping me $2 constantly. This person has also been leaving insulting tips on my streams recently a lot. Mm-hmm. They're an idiot. They keep paying me money. I just don't get it. You keep
Get to the story, please.
To say stupid shit. Can anyone figure this out?
Okay, we can't figure it out.
Paying me money. Anyway, let's keep going.
Yes.
So, this is a person who I trusted over the years. They've helped me out tremendously. There's been a few times when they caught stuff going on either on my forums or in stream chat or behind the scenes with people who were trying to do nasty shit to me, and they've helped me out tremendously. All right. Somehow, this person allowed themselves to get sucked into the black hole of drama and bullshit. Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know why, but they did. And apparently, they're actually starting to at least be skeptical of this person who's claiming they're an escort that came and visited me in early December. Now,
that was because of the brownie post I showed.
You might even say to yourself, well, why is it a big deal if Phil had an escort come and visit in December? Well, first of all, I'm against the practice. I've said this many times before.
Yeah.
I've never in my life been a guy who's had an issue, with women. You know what I mean? Like... If I want to spend time with a woman, I have whatever you want to call it.
Go to Twitter?
Charm or whatever. I'm able to get a woman and spend time with her. Now, I'm not saying...
So, by the way, that's 2 people in 20 years, right?
That it has to be, significant other, someone who I spend, a long relationship with. Those things come few and far between. But I'm saying I've never had a problem with the ladies. Let's put it that way.
Oh, of course.
I've never in my life paid for a woman. I never would. Now, I'm sure there's people out there who do. And everyone's going to have a different opinion, all right? For me, that's like ludicrous. That's actually against my personal philosophy. I would rather be alone.
Well, that's true.
Seriously, I would rather be alone than
I
pay
believe
for
this
an
part.
escort.
I
but
believe
the real
this
reason
part.
why this is all controversial is
I believe that part from him, by the way.
because what the people who hate me are trying to spin this as is Phil doesn't have a tax situation. Phil doesn't owe taxes. Phil did not get screwed over by a tax attorney in Connecticut. He's literally making...
Pay the hooker, just tip $2. And says, if you didn't have an escort, stop fucking talking. There's literally no reason for it. If you didn't hire an escort and you feel the need to
get up,
denounce it, fucking prove it now.
Money to an escort.
Show some counter proof.
He's lying. So, and really raising money to pay the escort. All right, that's what the idiots are trying to spin all this as. Even though
that's not true. He's very generally talking about what everyone's talking about. Some people question that maybe the tax situation was fake. And it was all about paying the escort. But that was not one thing that like everyone just accepted that's the case, right? It was just a theory that all the other fucking theories you find on Twitter, and Kiwi Farms and anywhere else about lolcows. It's a theory people had. But of course, he's going to say everyone has that same thought.
It's literally 100% wrong. It's 100% fabricated.
Oh.
So, that being said, you know, I announced I'm going to do this fundraising stream on Saturday. We have to go in all in on Phil. We have to prove, or at least, you know, not prove because there's nothing to prove, but we have to fool people into thinking that Phil had an escort and he's trying to pay the escort. That's what the fundraising stream is on Saturday, right? That way people will not pledge and will not tip him and help him because with the tax situation, maybe he'll lose his house and we'll win in the long run, right? There you go.
All right.
So that being said.
Oh my God.
All right. That being said.
Oh my God.
This stupid whatever it is account, this fake escort account on Kiwi Farms says that this girl baked me Dutch recipe brownies or something during our time off. Now, I didn't know any of this until this morning, okay? I wasn't aware any of this was going on because I don't follow any of this stupid shit.
Who cares?
So apparently this post is like 2 or 3 days old. I don't know. So the other night, I get a private message from this moderator, this friend of mine moderator, who's helped me over the years with all kinds of things. He actually, you know, sends me...
That's this guy, MRANNON. That's this guy.
PMs all the time. And I
the
go back and forth
Brownie
with him
guy.
about certain stuff. And he asked me,
Brownie
Phil,
guy.
when your girlfriend visited you and she made you brownies, what was the recipe? I'm looking for a recipe of brownies to make for myself here or something like that.
This is the message he's talking about.
Now, here's the thing, folks.
Oh, go ahead.
I had mentioned when my girlfriend was here that we had made these cookies. All right. And I'd actually taken a picture of it and put it up on Instagram. And I'm almost positive. In fact, I'm almost 100% positive.
Phil speaking so seriously about this shit is why people believed it. It's like, what do we... The Philip is just adding so much fuel to the fucking fire here, talking about this so seriously. I did, however, post a picture of cookies with my girlfriend. You know, it's like, just speak normally.
Positive that after that, I made a post that said, we ate all the cookies, now we have to make something else. And then I'm almost positive that here, either in stream chat or on a pre-stream, either in the physical chat typing or on a pre-stream itself, I had mentioned that we had made brownies.
Okay.
So it was pretty awesome because a week after my girlfriend left, I was still eating these delicious brownies that we had made.
Healthiest dude on the planet since 2017.
When she was here, all right?
Yep, got it. So healthy.
So,
yes, healthy king.
I get this random message from someone who I trust as like a friend, a colleague, someone who's, you know, been very loyal to me over the years and helped me out tremendously with all these different things. And he asks, you know, Phil, what was the recipe for the brownies that you made with your girlfriend? And I didn't even in my head at once, at any moment, think that this could have anything to do with anything. I'm just thinking it's some
Why
guy
would
I must
you?
have mentioned, you know, the brownies or whatever on a stream. And so I was very honest with him. I responded. I said, oh, you know, what actually wasn't any kind of a special recipe at all. We just went to the store and we bought a box of those Ghirardelli chocolate brownies. You know, the ones with the good high-level quality chocolate that you put into them.
High-level quality chocolate.
Chocolate brownies, you know, the ones with the good high-level quality chocolate that you put into them or whatever. And we baked those. That's what we had.
High-level quality chocolate. Who could forget?
And then I even mentioned, but we actually, if you want a recipe, we made these really good chocolate espresso cookies.
Oh, my God.
And they were really amazing. And he said, oh, well, what was that? What was that recipe? And I said, well, I don't have it. She had it. She had the recipe, not me. But I know it was from Martha Stewart. Because Martha, I guess it was a page she had printed out from like the Martha Stewart website of recipes or whatever. I don't know. So there you go.
Look at all these details.
So that was all I said in this private message to this guy who, again, for years and years, been years, this guy has been a fan of mine, a viewer, and he's helped me with out with stuff over the years, moderation, everything, tons of times. So that's all I said. So that's it. That's all I said. And that was it. That's the end of it. So here I am, you know, going about my own...
That's all I said, see? That's all I told him, you see? You want more information, you gotta pay me, you see?
Business this morning, you know, not really paying attention to anything, quite honestly. Just kind of, you know, okay, my usual stuff. Let's go ahead and do the normal stuff, right? Normal stuff every day that I usually do. And I go inside my stream chat, and 1 million people are talking about brownies.
Yes.
I'm like, huh? What are we talking? What is going on? Why is everyone mentioning brownies today? I'm super confused. Like, what does this have to do with anything? And everyone's like, Phil, you don't know the drama that's happened overnight. It's exploded exponentially. The drama. Yo, the drama. You don't even know the drama. And I'm like, oh my God. Ugh. It's Friday. I'm doing a full day of streaming today. I'm looking forward to it. All I want to do is sit down here and play games, and I got to hear about this. Now, normally, like I said, I wouldn't address it at all.
Right.
But apparently this person, again, who I trusted as a moderator and someone who, again, over the years, has helped me tremendously, apparently took this private message, all right, that we talked about, and used this as evidence that I did have an escort here in early December. This is concrete evidence now. And finally, this person who had believed me all along was swayed to believe that I had an escort here in early December. Again, I didn't. But here you go. It's just insanity. It's mob mentality insanity at this point. I don't even know what else to say.
Mob mentality.
Let me put it this way. Let me give you a reference to why I think this is so ridiculous. Because the thing is, people have said ridiculous things about me over the years. They call me a pedophile. They call me a thief. They call me a scammer. They call me this. They call me that. Racist, right? Usually, in all of these situations, these slanderous things that are said about me are based off of a snippet of truth. A tiny snippet. Right? For example, my ex-girlfriend was younger than me. And some people had issue with that. And they started making up stories about me being a pedophile. I started dating her when she was 16. Ridiculous nonsense and unsubstantiated, completely false. But they took that one fact that she was much younger than me and spun that into a negative, right? Over the years, in my gameplay videos and streams, I've made generalized racist jokes in comedy about races. And by the way, I'm an equal opportunity jokester. I'll make fun of my own race, like Italians in particular. I've made jokes of many, many times over the years, okay?
How about Asians?
Just as much as I'll joke about Asians or anybody else, okay?
Okay.
But people will take that and say, Phil's a racist. Here's an example. Here's a joke he made about a race. He's a racist, right? Yes. So that's what they do. They take this little snippet of truth.
Yeah, when they hear you saying racist stuff,
they turn it into something incredibly slanderous and a lie. All right?
Okay.
In this case, seriously, in this case, there is 0% factual basis for it. It didn't happen at all. It didn't happen in any way, shape, or form.
Except for the Brownie.
My girlfriend is true. This is someone who just by chance we met over the summer, completely random encounter. There was no actual, it wasn't
completely random encounter, you mean Twitter, right?
The summer, completely random encounter.
Okay.
There was no actual, it wasn't pre-set up. It wasn't like we were actively seeking to find each other. We met each other, clicked. It was something that grew into something beautiful. Over a course of months, we started seeing each other. It grew from there. We both had similar kind of life circumstances that had happened recently, and we clicked because of that, to the point where our love grew, and it became like we're soulmates, all right? And it sucks that I can't share.
Again, a tip from Pay the Hooker. Remember when you were just scratching your leg and dozens of people got banned for calling you out? Stop being a something. I can't read
those
it.
experiences with you.
Show some fucking proof.
All right, I can't.
But someone keeps tipping $2 to get him to prove to it.
Show those. Because, sadly, people will use that personal information to hurt her. I know they will. I'm not stupid. In fact, folks, the whole thing here is there's two reasons why these people are doing this nasty stuff to me right now. Absolutely, the first reason is because, for example, they know I'm doing a fundraiser tomorrow. They don't want me to be able to raise any money. They want me to be a big failure, and no one pledges me because they think that it's going towards an escort. All right? Even though it's not. It's a lie. It's going towards taxes. But number two, they really want information about my girlfriend because they're nosy as fuck. These people are mentally challenged. They really have an obsession in their head. And they need to know everything about my life. And the fact that I've had things hidden from you guys for the purposes of safety for months and months, they can't fucking stand it. I used to be a guy that was 100% transparent and I shared everything with you, and now that I got private stuff, oh my fucking God, that's it. They're going nuts, man. They're going nuts. They're losing their shit.
So remember, he's being private in 2017.
How dare he have no information that he keeps from us? We need to find everything out. So what they're hoping for right now is that on this very moment, that I'm going to reveal private information about my girlfriend to prove that she exists, to discredit this whole escort situation, so that then they can get after her. That's what they want. They want me to give you her name. They want me to give you information about, anything personal about her, so that they can grow right after. That's what they want. I'm not doing it because I'm not a fucking fool. I'm not.
For those keeping track, Catherine will be shown on stream only 2 months after this, but yeah.
The bottom line here is,
there we go,
that if you believe 100% slanderous speculation with zero factual evidence, you're a moron. All right, you are. You are a moron. I'm sorry, you are. You are gullible. We're making plans. If I can get past this tax hump in January, that she can maybe move in with me in 2018. And I'm thinking to myself now, as all this is going on, man, people are going to feel incredibly fucking stupid pretty soon. Because if I can get past this tax issue and, let's say in the first half of the year, she does move in with me. All right. She's obviously going to start showing up in videos. In fact, there's a couple playthroughs coming up that maybe we could do co-op in. Obviously, when I do DSP Tries It, she's going to end up being a part of DSP Tries It. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, she's going to be part of it. Now, am I going to give out all her personal information? No. But you're going to see her in my videos. You're going to know she exists. You're going to know she's real. It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? And it's so hilarious to me because
someone says,
and it's so hilarious.
These pre-streams are what they thrive on. You might want to think about changing these in 2018. Fuck you, man. I got to do a pre-stream, dumb fuck.
You're going to be proven wrong. So all this stupidity that's happening is all going to be disproven. And I'm just like,
so we couldn't
how could
just
you
say
in your
that.
right mind?
See, all this extra stuff, if we just said that part, no one would have questioned anything, but all this extra fucking talk.
Act like this and not realize how dumb you're going to look shortly. You know what I mean?
I'm just like, show it. Show it then.
Oh my God. I don't know. So anyway.
Okay.
Let's put it this way, folks. This whole thing is stupid. I actually feel bad because now apparently I've got someone who used to be, someone who I trusted, who is a mod, who apparently now is out there spewing crap about Phil. Phil told me in a private message that his girlfriend made him brownies, and that's
Mr. Anon.
That that obviously it was the escort that made him brownies because the escort had posted 2 days earlier that she had made him Dutch recipe brownies, and now Phil said that they just make Ghirardelli brownies, but maybe that's a spin on it. Maybe she added something to the Ghirardelli brownies to make them her own personal brownies, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Reminder: this is 1.5.
Oh my fucking
Can
Lord.
you imagine if we weren't? Tim says, stop the drama pre-streams. People don't come for this, and you're feeding the trolls at this point.
So allow me to summarize here, folks. This is so
please,
stupid, okay?
Please. 20 minutes left. Can it be 20 minutes of her explanation?
I have a girlfriend. I've been dating her since the summer.
Okay.
I want her to move in with me in 2018. We love each other. But I've been protecting her from the internet because I know what would happen if her personal information got out on the internet, in particular, especially if before she were to live here with me, what would happen if her information got out on the internet would be really bad. We saw what happened previously with my previous relationships, and I'm very much wiser to the whole situation now, all right? There's a group of people who hate my guts and want to hurt me in every possible way. All right? They've completely fabricated a story based off of zero facts, but only off of things that I've publicly shared about myself and my girlfriend and the time that I spent with her.
They've created a story based on a lot of facts, actually. I mean, he's not saying it correctly. This whole escort thing is based on all facts going back years of interactions with someone on Twitter. Now, it's not true, but everything that people are thinking now is based on the facts that have been presented on the internet leading back since 2014 when Philip interacted with that woman on Twitter in 2 different accounts.
They spun it into complete nonsense, all right?
Yes.
And made up a completely fabricated story about an escort visiting me, and that I don't have any tax situation, but instead I'm raising funds to pay for an escort. It's 100% false. It's based off of 0%. Unlike other things that people have said negatively about me in the past, it's based off of no factual evidence whatsoever.
It's based on a lot of factual evidence.
There's nothing that they've even spun. They literally just made it up out of thin air to make me look bad, and so that things like, for example, my fundraiser tomorrow would be unsuccessful. All right? I feel sad for anyone who believes the stupidity of this stuff that people say with no factual evidence. I really do. And I feel bad, in particular, for this longtime fan of mine, moderator of mine, who sadly fell into the black hole of nonsense. I really do. I feel bad because that's terrible to live like that. It is. Just believe shit. And because and there's the other thing, too. So apparently I did mention these brownies or whatever, on a stream. So again, it was public knowledge just to those who were here all the time, who listen to my pre-streams or whatever. So again, they took something that I said publicly that I revealed and turned it into something that was supposed to be exclusive info. And then tried to basically fool me with a PM about a recipe, right? It's nuts. And, I'm not going to play these fucking games anymore. It's so stupid.
So
the only reason I'm bringing it up is because the whole stream chat this morning, before I even got to start talking about games or whatever, was talking about stupidity like this. It's just so dumb. All right? It's out of control. So that being said, I'm done with it. I'm not going to address it anymore. All right? It's stupid. It's complete stupidity.
He's already a year in. No, he's not. He's already a year into WPIG Champions at this point.
Not grounds in any factual basis. There's no evidence of anything, because there can't be evidence of anything, because it's not true. That would be the thing. If I actually, if any of this were true, I'd obviously be running around desperately trying to cover information up. There's nothing to cover up. The whole thing's fake.
No, if it was true, you'd be trying to explain it away like you are now. Seemingly.
There's no work for me. I didn't even know about this until this morning when my stream chat was overflowing with fucking idiots. You know what I mean? I didn't know that any of this had happened because I'm not paying attention to it because it's all fake. It's all bullshit. It's so dumb.
Thanks for the 30-minute rundown on it, King, with extreme details. You definitely don't know anything, though.
That's the deal. That's what's going on. The latest drama nonsense. It is garbage. Ignore it. If you're intelligent, you'll ignore it and stay with us here in reality on the fun gameplay streams, and have fun with me every day. And, if you're gullible and you want to go get sucked into the black hole of the anal sphincter of nonsense of the internet, go right ahead. I can't stop you.
Moving on now.
Now, folks, let's get to the usual stuff. As you guys already know, obviously you know the situation with Patreon. We've got
You guys know the situation with Patreon, obviously. And the Camping Dutchman says, isn't Dummy here neck deep in WP Champions now? Taxes, LOL. Yes. He has not yet started his streak, but he's been logging in and playing for 11 months at this point. If Phil was convicted of murder with zero evidence, he would convince the jury in 10 minutes he did it without a shred of doubt. Exactly. That's what's so insane about this. It's so insane about this. He sounds guilty. That's what keeps this whole fucking train moving. So Kimberly, in December 31st, now is attacking the biggest defenders of DSP, which are K Galleon and Vidar Viking, and said, guys, get on with me, call me, and I'll give you a call. Okay? And let's talk it out. Okay? I'll prove what I'm right. She offered the call to K Galleon and Vidar Viking. That never happened. Another old whale of DSP chimes in. King Jezel with a 5,000-bit cheer, $50, says, just want to let you know that your fans know this escort business is nonsense, and even if on some planet it was somehow true, I would at least know the people stirring up the drama are in the wrong. This whole situation does nothing but hurt people who mean no one any harm. It's propaganda no matter how you look at it, and yours is the only side to take. That is a truly pignatized pay pig. Even if it is true. It's propaganda, and yours is the only side to take. Yes, Vidar Viking would shortly leave after this, and King Jezel would as well, actually, I believe. Not directly after, but around here. Kimberly then says to all the fans of, they call me DSP, I'll have to say and Phil in his own words, thanks for the money, dummies. This is from January 4th. We've entered the new year. Next up, January 5th. Mystery Woman shares more information about Philip's apparent sex life. I'll just read the bullet points here. Before the Leanna saga started, there was a girl who visited him in his condo who got drugged and sexually assaulted and harassed after. This was a step too far for many people. The SA allegation would become very... people didn't believe this, right? And this was something that people kept asking. That's a huge accusation you just made. Going to have to be some kind of proof of this, right? You can't just say this, right? So then she says the Leanna saga, we all know. After Leanna, he hired 5 escorts in total, me included. During the entire escort situation, he also met his girlfriend's soulmate, Tiffany. In her case, he took use of a very hard and rough time she was having and made her believe that he loves her. Okay, again, all things said by Kimberly. And let's say this. People are definitely picking up on the questioning of things now, all right? She responds with, first of all, I post what I'm allowed to post. Second, I cannot go into extreme details as to what evidence she has for obvious reasons. Blah, blah, blah. I don't have evidence for this for reasons, but it definitely is true. People are questioning now. Well, let's call, I'll call him Cuck Boy here because that's what he calls himself. King Jezel says, Phil doesn't do enough begging on his own. He's getting you to start for him as well. Because King Jezel in Twitch chat says, this thing is getting demonetized, so tips. So King Jezel is noticing, like, this video is not making money, guys, so here's how to tip. Jezel says, this is King Jezel himself, he's going to turn on me unless I pull my weight past what I cheer. This is an actual statement from King Jezel, who says, Philip is going to turn on me unless I pull my weight past what I cheer. Kimberly responds to this with Cuckboy number 3, and King Jezel responds with, real statements here from King Jezel, how am I a cuckboy? I'm not. I'm just trying to help Phil, and now make sure he isn't bothered by me. This is what a DSP fan looks like and feels. DSP would turn on King Jezel. But this is what fans of DSP think. It's Philip's income is our responsibility, guys. And we don't want to make Philip angry, right? You don't want him to be angry. Philip chimes in on his own forums now on January 6th and says, nobody with a brain believed it anyway. If you haven't noticed, since the lies began, my actual fans and viewers are increasing and my Twitch channel is doing better than ever. The best course of action is to stay away from websites like that in general. That's Kiwi Farms. They serve no productive purpose and just promote the sociopathic tendencies of the mentally ill who hide behind the anonymity of the internets. Meanwhile, my actual girlfriend is taking steps to move in with me in February. So, of course, by then, they'll have shifted the story again to try and move the focus from all that shit they made up about our visit in December. Next up, a new person appears, and it is Becky Lynch 94. Now, this account is a new account, started in January of that year, of this very same year, and says, we had ice cream at the Bodega Italiana, and we had dinner at the Capitol Grill. Can anyone please ask DSP Gaming to unblock me and call me? Please tell him Becky needs to talk to him. Okay? Next, the escort doubles down, and I will not read all this for sure, but she definitely states again, he paid me a few days ago. For part of me having, but part of me was pressuring him, blah, blah, blah. So the NDA stays intact. Now, as far as the other girls go, I have no idea what they will do. Do I believe Tiffany? So far, yes, I do, because I did see her also in the stream chat. She was indeed on Twitch watching his streams, just like she told me. I don't know who that Tiffany is, but there we go. My conclusion is he paid for an escort. He might have a girlfriend, yep. So what most of my clients do, heck, most of them are even married. It's their problem, not mine. She's doubling down on her accusations of everything. Philip then finally does respond to the accusation there. And Phil says, they promoted and propagated an entire thread claiming I lied about my girlfriend, owed money to an escort, and then raped a woman, all without a lick of evidence because it was completely untrue. So he's talking about what Mystery Woman just said there about the SA allegations. So there we go. And again, Philip is saying the entire website of Kiwi Farms believes it and shared that shit, even though that is not true. In actuality, that really led to people on Kiwi Farms saying, holy shit, it's sounding kind of crazy, and we're going to start needing some proof here because you're saying a lot of stuff right now. You know what I mean? So, there we go. That's what happened then. Now, another character enters the stage, and they go by the name of Secret Limited. Every early January releases a video that many of you may have seen. And the video looks like this. This is not what the thumbnail looked like originally. On the right, instead of that comical picture of a horse, it used to be a picture of Kimberly Brink. That was what all the person I'm sharing you on Twitter saying all this stuff. Now, that's what it used to be. Then, Secret Life of DSP, which is Secret Limited, shows up in a DSP stream. The Secret Life, are you really the person that made that video? Says DSP2 Secret Limited. They said, or are you just someone who uses that name? Be honest, by the way. Be honest. Honestly, I'm a down-to-earth person. If there's anything you want to get off your mind towards me, please contact me directly. There is no need for name calling. I hope you enjoy the Dragon Ball Z Fighter game today with my hand on the Bible, says Secret Limited. DSP says, sure, you can change the thumbnail. I didn't get, again, it's not saved, so I can only show you what was on the farms, right? So apparently some talk about changing the thumbnail happened. And Darkside Phil said, but to make, sure, you could change a thumbnail, but it's one thing to make a video about me, I don't care. But to make a clickbait thumbnail with my ex-girlfriend who had next to nothing to do with me or my content in 2017, which is just a fucking joke, right? I mean, she was a huge part of the content in 2017 and a very public person on that stream. She talked about it all the time. But anyways. And then an escort that is 100% fabricated, that part is true. It just proves you're a hack. So remove that thumbnail or else just admit you're in it to insult me and not for the sake of making a funny vid. You can make videos about whatever the fuck you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. It's not a factual video. It said top 10 worst gaming DSP gaming 2017 moments. What, I mean, it's something that happened. It's just fake, right? It could be fake, but it's still something people were talking about. Secret Limited says, when I have the little time and I'm on my computer, I will do a different video thumbnail. If anything, you could whisper me on here. I'm always open to your comments, Phil. God bless. Phil responds, I don't want to whisper you. I want that thumbnail removed immediately, and I'm saying it in public because you need to be called out on it. You know it was wrong, and you did it for clickbait to get views, and that proves you're a hack. Secret Limited then finishes the talk with this. I understand, Darkside Phil, but in God's name, I'm saying politely, if there's anything you want to discuss with me, the door is open for you. And that goes for anyone else as well. And then Darkside Phil says, I'm discussing this with you right now, in public. And that was it. Why do you keep repeating that? How about a response? Okay? Philip then gets angry and says he'll make a 3-hour video slandering me, but God forbid he respond to an honest question in my own stream chat. Then he gets banned. Coward, goodbye. You just prove you're a fucking coward. So he got banned. Now, want to see the banned comment? It comes from a certain King Jad who saved it. And it says, I have been honest without the swearing and cursing. Well, anyways, I will let you finish whatever you're doing with the setup and have a great stream, mate. God bless. That was the last message that Secret Limited was able to send into the stream chat because they were banned after that. We move on to mid-January now. Not going to read all this shit, but Kimberly adds a new page to her website, and it's all about a warning. And the warning is, in 2017, a friend who I was a fan of for many years asked me if he could book me for a girlfriend experience. Blah, 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 blah. They never paid. And they said a lot of stuff for me to make me, they said a lot. I had to do a lot of work to get them to pay me. I don't want to do that again. She says, I sure hope I never have to go through trouble like this ever again. Okay. Then on January 8th, she posts an image of this, and that is a hair color. That hair color is consequential, as we all know. I hope you've seen by now. That color matches a certain color that was on a Christmas tree just less than 2 weeks ago on here, or maybe a month ago. But anyways, this picture was shared by Kimberly. Says goodbye to the color. Once again, adding fuel to the fire here, aren't we? Kimberly then says, on April 7th on her website, it is reserved for a DA podcast. What does DA mean? Well, let's get right into the news with a Drama Alert podcast. So it seemed that April 7th, they were going to do a Drama Alert podcast, which is very strange to me. Why would you schedule a Drama Alert podcast for April in the early January? The hype is all gone. I just don't see that being a thing. If I can ever ask questions to Keemstar again, I'll ask it that time. Not that he'll ever remember. But I said, did you ever plan on having a possible escort on your podcast back in 2013 and 17? But anyways, next up, we move forward a little bit. And this is on January 16th now, a little bit later. By the way, they call me DSP. Fabricated, huh? Remember this hair that I had to have fucking dyed for you? Look familiar much? And alrighty then, now go fuck yourself, Philly 4-inch dick. Okay? Now this next image was shown. Well, it's okay if you see it. It's not against like terms of service or anything. Here we go. There was an apparatus here of the metal variety. Kimberly tweeted out. Okay? And this is a very, I would say large. Compared to me, it's massive. And it's a metal, and it's used in sexual acts. This was shared on Reddit. The tweet associated with this says, remember when you sent me this pic last September when you asked me if it was a good one? I sure made good use of it on your ass when I was with you, didn't I? Hee hee. Now, just for an update on what people are thinking, people are more and more saying, like, this is insane now. Right. This is insane. Of course, there's people that want to believe it because that would be very funny, but yet it's not. Right. So now let's get to a little bit more of DSP talking about this. He has a lot to say, obviously.
The big TJ just said, why would an escort follow their client on Twitter? They wouldn't. It's the whole point. An escort wouldn't follow their client. An escort wouldn't publicly harass their client for money.
It is very, very fucking weird how much Philip pretends to know about escorts while being entirely against them.
It's the whole point. An escort wouldn't follow their client. An escort wouldn't publicly harass their client for money. All the things that have happened in this situation are not things a real escort would do.
Thank you, escort.
It's only a small
escort king.
Idiot, a complete moron or a very immature moron or immature kid would think that that's how like a professional would behave. It's so stupid.
Thank you, escort king.
Save that house. Did a 40-bit cheer.
Save that house.
These trolls that make these stories on Kiwi Farms are shit. The same kids who watch it like Fred and PewDiePie growing up, so now they're fucked in the head. Now with Jake and Logan Paul, the future's fucked. There you go. Oh,
that just gets a there you go. All right, there you go.
And that is correct. Escorts do not charge after the fact. They do not have payment plans and billing cycles.
How do you know all this, Philip?
You can't get on easy pay for an escort
Phillip.
and pay in installments over time. That's not how it works. But again, dumb kids think otherwise because they're fucking dumb kids. They want to believe drama.
Phillip.
That's all it is. They want to believe drama.
It's amazing, right? Like, you know, it's not
It's so
true.
stupid because, as I've already said,
yeah,
chances are my girlfriend, sooner rather than later this year, is going to move in with me, especially now that it looks like my tax situation in January is all taken care of, or is going to be. So how stupid are these idiots going to be when finally, you know, I say, you know, here she is, she's here with me, and we're going to be doing DSP Tries It together, we're going to be doing maybe some gameplay together. How dumb are they going to look when it's not the escort? I mean...
yeah, let's stop
Holy
incriminating
fuck.
ourselves and get there. Any other tips about escorts you want to share, or... All right, we'll consider that one done. January 11th. Yeah, one more from this time.
Say they have to find a way to spin it negatively because they've just been doing it for so long, and it's...
And if Philip was in massive, you know, unwatchable mode here because he knows something, tractors are saying something is literally not true, right? So he's just talking about it every pre-stream. Oh my God, there's so many pre-streams about him talking about it, trying to take victory laps. But the victory laps just add more fuel to the fire because of how he explains things. So, like he's not sure of what he's saying, and he knows everything about fucking escorts. It's very weird.
It's been the in thing to do on YouTube. I mean, it's to the point now, it's so ludicrous. It's one thing.
Yeah.
It's one thing, folks, to have something based on a snippet of truth, right?
Yes.
Okay, years ago.
As all of these were.
Maybe I had a Patreon goal, and I promised I would deliver a certain thing if I hit this goal. I didn't deliver for whatever reason, even though there's circumstances that explain the reason, and no one was really upset about it. Yes,
except for the fan you lost.
it's true that at one time, years and years ago, I didn't deliver on a Patreon goal. So then people spin it into, well, Phil stole from his fans.
That's just another way to say that, though.
That didn't happen, but that's what they'll say. But at least that's based on a snippet of truth, okay? At least. Now there's things out there that are so ludicrous. People saying that I paid for escorts, that I don't really have a girlfriend, that I'm lying about that I don't owe tax money, that I'm trying to scam my fans. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insanity based on...
So he's bringing up something that he literally factually did do that's fucked up and said they'll spin it in a bad way by just saying what he did. That's a spin. But, all right. Enough of that. I don't need any more of this story. He says it so many times. I'm saving you from so many times. 3 days later.
Right, number one, folks, there's nothing wrong with the forums. Everything that, as usual, the overdramatic pieces of shit of the internet who are trying to, once again, make another negative story about me or whatever, all right, are trying to create a thing. Because here's the thing.
Oh,
well,
please.
let's see. We can't get Phil anymore. We tried everything possible to get rid of Phil. He won't go away.
Remember when he said this during the King arc? Yeah, they can't make fun of me anymore, so they're just making up more nonsense. He's saying the same thing here.
Right. So then we completely fabricated stories about escorts and shit. That didn't stick. Now no one's talking about that anymore. So let's do something else. Now let's say we're gonna attack, you know, the forums.
People are still talking about the escort. I don't know what he's talking about there. January 15th. Oh, okay. So now January 15th, Philip talks about the fucking brownies again.
El Zorobot asks, he says, I gotta learn how to make brownies, Phil. Any suggestions? Well, yeah, sure. What you do is you hire a very expensive overseas escort to come over your house, and you have her make these delicious brownies for you, and you don't pay her. So then she hounds you on social media for like a month, and then completely retracts her story and says that's actually not what happened, that it was another girl that was here during Christmas instead who made the brownies. And then people realize that she's just so full of fucking shit that they all laugh at her and discredit her story completely. That's how you...
There you go. Okay, so Philip's tweet in 2016 now. It says, someone says, they call me DSP, doesn't need an escort when he can jerk himself off on stream for free anytime. Inexplicably, DSP responds to this one specifically and says, if anything... This is actually a great case that the escort is fake. Really hitting them with the hard evidence here, Philip. This'll debunk it. Yeah, I jerked off on stream. Therefore, I don't need an escort? Oh, God. I hope you're seeing now, at the very least, why people believe this. Because with shit like this, it's clear now, looking back, that the girl was way too overzealous with her shit about attacking Philip. But with shit like this, it's come on, man. It'd be so easy to get past this. He then says, I think this girl may actually be crazy enough to believe her own bullshit. Some people can actually convince themselves that they were places if they talk about it enough. Probably an obsessed person or just a nut job. But I have no idea who she is at all. This is January 16th. We're getting close to the end game here. We should finish on time, actually. One-parter. Pickups to me. Oh, no. Not with the videos, though. I forgot about the videos. It seems an entirely new group of idiots have just caught on to the fake escort story and are bombarding my feed today. It's baffling how downright gullible people are and how willing they are to believe any toxic, dramatic story with zero evidence. You can't help stupid, says DSP on the 16th of January. Let's go. We have now entered the end game, and the end game starts now. So, Kimberly is still on Twitter saying, let this be a lesson to everyone. Always pay for services rendered to you. Doesn't matter what the services are. But if you don't pay for the groceries you get at the store, the owner will chase your ass. If your boss doesn't pay your salary, you also get pissed. Same with escorts. Hey, they call me DSP. Just a reminder, you started this. First time I had to start trouble because you refused to pay me for my services. Now, 2 weeks ago, you finally paid, so I went quiet about it and let it go. But last night, you decided to slander me. So what did you expect? Huh? That slander is what's happening right here.
You make brownies. I don't know if you guys were aware. That's how I do it anyway.
See?
I don't know how you guys do it. That's my family recipe. We always get an escort involved.
See? So she didn't like that.
Oh, my God.
So that's what she was responding to in those tweets with a little bit of anger. Now she says if DSP would have simply shut up about it after he paid, there would be no problem. But he said he decided to make it a public fight. So that's what he got now. If he plays it smart, he shuts up from now on and stops the bullshit. But this lady fights back. Okay? Another threatening tweet on the 16th of January. By the way, the ball is now back in DSP Gaming, in his corner. If he stops his BS attack, stop calling me out, and simply shut up about it, then I don't have a reason to kick back. Okay? By the way, I want my pics off your fucking Instagram. So she is again claiming to be the woman in the Christmas tree pictures. That one she's saying is her. Now, I have to enter in a new character into the saga here, and that is Lauren Beth, okay, on their public Twitter, had this message and says, I was trying to find the professional photos so you could closely see her face, but I guess they aren't online yet. There's a pic of my fiance took at a wedding. One of our bridesmaids attire, good enough. This is a new person with the face of Kimberly. What's going on? This is weird. Someone on Twitter has the exact same face as you, huh? This is where we enter Bizarro world. Medicare gives his take and says, I have a feeling 2018 is going to be a good year. 1 week later, a hooker is alleging you liked getting fucked by horse strap-ons. Your entire forum and all your Patreons are getting doxxed. Wow. Now, I am glossing over one thing because we can't be here all week. But during this period, Vidar Viking was doing his best to defend DSP and hating on everyone else. He actually said some death threats on Kiwi Farms. And then someone on the farms took that kind of as a challenge and said, I will going to dox one DSP fan. I think he said I'll dox one DSP fan a day until Vidar Viking is gone or something. It was something like this. Okay, so I'm not, no need for the details there, right? So he said this, and I was definitely fucked up too, but that's something that happened. And that's what would lead to Vidar Viking getting out of DSP community, basically, because of that. Vidar Viking was just so insanely DSP fan. He was trying to be like the Kiwi farmer for DSP. You know what I mean? He gave a lot of money and stuff, and he was a guy that was really trying to defend DSP hardcore. Hardcore. So now we enter the new era where there is another person, and that is Lauren Beth. Now we'll call her Tennessee Girl. Tennessee Girl says, I don't know who you are, but I can tell you one thing for certain. The girl in the escort's pictures is not the girl who's running the account. The girl in the pictures is a friend of mine, not in the Netherlands, but in Tennessee. And I'm going to bring this to her attention in the AM. Philip responds to this and says, wow, is this true? Because if so, you could seriously help me out and end a month of slander against me, and I would greatly appreciate it. Lauren then says, it's 100% true. I worked with the girl in those pictures for about 10 years, and we're still good friends. In fact, we were both bridesmaids in a wedding recently. I have pictures. She probably has no idea this person has been using her photos for years. I'm so mad right now. And that is not a lie. If what Lauren Beth here on Twitter is saying is true, she has been using her images for at least 3 years. Some say even more. Her images has been stolen and used for this escorting website, if this is true, which is scary for anybody to find out, honestly. Now, King Jad chimes in, okay, on this one. And he says, if I saw my friend's image being used by someone else online claiming to be them, first thing I do is contact my friend about it and ask them what's going on. It doesn't look like this person has done that here, instead going to Phil for some reason odd. And I agree with this King Jad take. Why would you? I mean, it seems weird to even reply on Twitter, right? Like, I really would just go to my friend and say, holy shit, check this shit out, man. But yet, she chose not to do that, all right? Moving on, we have this is from Tennessee Girl, as I showed you. Her Twitter had this image. Kimberly Brink's Twitter profile had this image, okay? So as you can see, they look pretty fucking similar, don't they? They're looking awful similar. And this is really when the wheels begun to fall off the wagon here. All right? So we have this response from Lauren Beth, who is Tennessee Girl. It says, that's fine. It's just crazy coincidence that my fiance happened to see her picture on a message board and tell me about it. This is insane. She has a child, and this using her pictures crap is going to stop. Again, on Twitter is kind of weird, but all right, you know, it seemed like you just go to your friend if that's your friend. Here is Tennessee Girl mentions brownies on Twitter. So, but anyways, there we go. We have the brownies here from Lauren, which was interesting. People said Browniegate again. There we go. This is a tweet said, I've already sent her a message. It's a school night and her son is 6. So she's asleep and hasn't seen it yet. I'll try to communicate with her as much as I can at work. I wish I hadn't said anything before talking to her, but I was furious. So kind of trying to debunk King Jad's worry. Moving on, interestingly enough, as you can see, another public picture on Twitter. She wears a K necklace, which gives more meaning to the K of Kimberly, right? Which is something. You know what I mean? Okay, next. Now it's officially over. Because on this day, on January 17, 2016, someone found the Facebook profile of someone else. That is not Kimberly. That is not anyone else. That is Tennessee, who Tennessee was talking about, and found her right here. And that was the end of it. The name is not Kim. I blocked it out. It's something else, but it starts with a K, and it's all her pictures. So legitimately, at this moment, it was all over. It's over. We now have an unrelated person on Facebook that has the face of Kimberly Brink. All the pictures that have ever been shared are on this Facebook. This was their source of pictures. Remember that Twitter picture change? There it is on the bottom right there. It's over. More proof to it. She started a new job in what state? But Tennessee. That proves that the Tennessee woman that was sharing that he knew about her wasn't lying. She is from Tennessee. That is her. It's over. Well, when I say it's over, I mean people believing it could be true. What I don't mean is Philip's response and Kiwi Farms learning about these scammers that have now come out to be 100% scammers, right? Smile says, it's so surreal hearing about this after watching it happen in real time. Big up, Smiles. Yeah, I wasn't around for this time, and it was way different than I thought. I thought it was just a little weekend thing, you know, but holy shit, it's not. Mr. Anon on this day says, time to drown my sorrow in a box of Dutch brownies. There's a bit of a sense of humor on him, doesn't he, Mr. Anon? Noel confirms that all of their posts from Mystery Woman were from the Netherlands. All the posts were from the Netherlands. And now Kiwi Farms has locked in on it being 100% over. That's all, folks. Now, I wish I didn't have to do this, but I think I have to. You guys earned this, right? We've been here so long. DSP will now take his victory lap. He has a stream on this very same day, January 17th, entitled, The Drama is Over. We don't have to listen to the entire hour, but let's just get a taste, shall we?
Well, guess what? This time, none of that was present. It was 100% fabricated. A story claiming that I had hired an escort from, I guess, the Netherlands. I didn't even know that until now. And shipped her over to the United States to spend several weekends with me. Basically, every time that I had said that I had spent time away to spend with my girlfriend, claiming that I don't have a girlfriend.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what the story he's telling you. Even no one said this.
Then instead, it was this escort who I had paid thousands and thousands of dollars to.
He doesn't know what the fuck he's
ship her
talking
over
about.
Here and spend time with, and basically, you know, have my way with, and and basically, you know, have my way with, and the pictures that I had taken during Christmas were not my girlfriend, but were this escort. Okay. Ludicrous.
Why the fuck would you say that? Why the fuck would you say that?
But, folks, sadly, the internet is an immature, gullible, drama-filled place. And there were hundreds, if not thousands, of people who believed the situation. Okay? They thought it was true. Because a lot of people, number one, they don't like me for various bullshit reasons over the years. They listen to all the slander about me and believe it to be true, and therefore they say there's no way that this could be false. This is just the next thing for Phil, the next negative thing. Even though since day one I said it's completely false, don't believe it, there's no evidence. For a month, over a month actually.
There's many times he said there's nothing there, there's no evidence, I didn't do that, and it was wrong. So let's not pretend. Let's not pretend that it's unbelievable that Philip does something wrong.
And I keep denying it, and it keeps getting worse. The thing is, the more I deny it, the worse it would get, because whoever was running this catfish account, claiming to be an escort, just kept escalating it. First it was that they had come and visited me several times. Then it was, oh, I owe them money. I didn't pay them the money for the last time, which is ludicrous. It's not how escorts work.
He's just taking, like, individual people's opinions as what everyone is saying. Like, just because one person says that doesn't mean that's what everyone thinks. Kiwi Farms is some people have theories and some people shit on them or believe it or ask for proof. It's not like this person said this, so therefore that's what's true now. And that's just not the situation.
Front, but again, people are so fucking stupid. They're so dumb and ignorant. They want to believe it, right? Like, yes, because I'm sure that escorts and prostitutes work on easy pay payments where you pay half up front and then half later. What the fuck? You're an idiot. Seriously.
Okay.
Basically, nothing of this story ever rang true. Then it got even worse and worse, compounding it. Oh, you know, Phil abused women in the past. We have evidence that Phil was a woman abuser, and it wasn't just this escort. There were other escorts involved, and Phil likes to get dildos up his butt. It was just the most ridiculous fucking thing possible. Really.
That was all from Mystery Woman, who tried to make her story so crazy it was fun, but it went too far.
But, okay, it was absolutely 100% ridiculous bullshit. So that being said, all right, all this going on.
Yeah,
I just adamantly denied it and said, there's nothing I could do to defend myself, because the only thing I could possibly do to defend myself is to reveal my girlfriend, which I'm not willing to do yet because she doesn't live with me. You all know what would happen if I had revealed my girlfriend early, right? Immediately people would have scoured the internet for information about her. Let's get information about this girl and let's dox her and let's attack her and let's do nasty things to her. And that's why I didn't do it. So for the good of my girlfriend, I said, you know what? I'm just going to adamantly deny all these allegations until finally when she moves in with me in mid-February, it's all going to be revealed that it was bullshit anyway, because they're going to see that she's real. They're going to see that the pictures that I took in December are pictures of her, okay? There's no way that you could deny it once you see that. But we're going to have to get there, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. I knew it was going to be weeks and weeks, if not, a month of waiting, and putting up with this bullshit, okay? Now, you may say, what was the end goal of this person who was doing this catfishing and all this with the escort? I don't know.
Yes.
Just to slander me. Pretty much just to slander me. I don't even know what else to say.
That's not true, though.
It was just to slander me.
She was offered $3,000 in Bitcoin to prove it. $3,000 was offered to her. I think with Null saying he will, be in charge of the transaction to make sure it happens. $3,000 of Bitcoin, and she turned that down for the NDA because it was against the NDA and didn't want to fuck over or something. But yeah, that was offered to her to prove it to be true or not right there. Phil mockily challenged the internet to find out about her. It took the farms 13 minutes to do so. And I checked that before on some other stream, and it is, less than 15 minutes until people found her streams. So anyways.
I don't even know what else to say. There was nothing else involved. There was no benefit to them. It's not like they were going to receive any money. I was never...
there were multiple financial offers made by people on the farm, with the escort refusing all offers, which somewhat strengthened their credibility. Yeah, there you go.
There was nothing like that at all. Phil, if you want all this to end, pay us $10,000 and we'll end all the slander. No, nothing like that. It was just complete, some mentally ill noodle. I don't even know what else to say. Some crazy person had created this whole situation, all right? So, folks, I just kept denying it and whatever, and we went on. Now, sadly, the thing blew even worse out of proportion, because then there was a group of people on the internet who don't like me and who purposely make it their focus of their time to basically slander me all the time and say nasty things about me, who basically were propagating this story, and they were kept promoting it and kept pushing it on the internet. And so... a group of
what he's talking about is Twitter and Kiwi Farms. So yes,
my viewers and fans went over to them and basically started, I guess, from what I understand, harassing them and doing nasty stuff to them, maybe possibly doxing them and threatening them. Again, none of it can be proven. I don't know what really happened, but basically all blew out of proportion. Then we had people getting doxed and stuff. It was out of control, and this was all something that was based on complete and utter lies and bullshit. Not any truth to it, and I wasn't involved in it. It was all behind the scenes done to me, even though all I do is sit here and play video games with you guys every day. I know this story sounds absolutely ludicrous to you.
Well,
it sounds ludicrous to me too.
You're
but
telling
it's true.
me
It actually happened. What the fuck?
You're telling me.
Finally, everybody.
Yeah, go ahead. Finally.
You knew eventually this was gonna. There's no way if this story was fake, it was gonna hold. There was no way. There was no. Again, there's no way you could just lie, and never have a fact behind it and expect this story to hold. So yesterday, apparently,
well, there were many facts behind it, which is why it held so long. Which, when I say held long, it literally lasted a month. So her first comments, people thinking it was her. So this is let's call this the first domino. Goutside Phil posting this up as a possibility to be Philip's girlfriend. That took place on December 12th of 2017. This is the first domino of this whole thing. It ended on December 17th. So that's how long the entire thing took to finish, right?
All that happened was someone put this story about me being with an escort and having, not paying them and shit like that, put the story up over on Reddit. And apparently the thread blew up. Thousands of people read the thread, and within...
That is true. It was on Facebook. People were making fun of Philip with the dildo and stuff like that. And that makes sense, too, because if you say something about a lol cow on the Reddit, and it's funny as fuck, as in, wow, DSP has a escort doing with a dildo, people are going to be excited by that and laugh at it on Reddit, right?
Hours, I was getting bombarded on social media, again, by another wave of idiots who believed the story with no evidence, attacking me, slandering me. People came on the streams yesterday, attacking me, slandering me, and I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I don't give a fuck. I'm just going to do what I did the whole time, okay? And ignore it and say, listen, it's not true. Let's just play games. And that was the attitude I took.
Okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, finally, people went too far, because you know what happens is when a story like that finally breaks, okay, guess what happens?
What? Who looks into it?
Other people take notice who normally would not have seen the story. And it just so happens a certain man was basically over on Reddit, saw the story, clicks on it, looks at these pictures of this supposed escort and says,
yeah,
I know that girl. Wait a minute. I actually know this person.
Yeah.
And she's not a fucking escort. What is this? So then he ran over and talked to his, I believe, fiance, who actually was friends with the girl. The fiance went on Twitter last night and actually tweeted me and said, I don't know who you are, but I know this girl in real life, and she is not an escort.
Let's see if he gives any credit to Kiwi Farms for finding all this, putting an end to this.
This is ridiculous that all her pictures have been used in this manner, and I'm going to contact her. However, we live in Tennessee, and, we don't have, it's nighttime now, so I'm not going to wake her up. She has a 6-year-old kid. I'll let her know in the morning, and hopefully we'll get all this cleared up. So, overnight, all this happens, right? So guess what happens? Mysteriously, all of the accounts and support accounts, everyone who basically was supposed to be part of this network of lies against me, all the escorts and escort accounts that had backed up the fake escort account mysteriously vanished. Okay,
so before he gets ahead of himself, so real quick, okay, so look at this too as well. So she's been doing this since 2012. Yeah, 2012. This person has been being a fake person, stealing that identity. 2012, that's 5 years. Now, things start getting deleted quickly now. I just registered to deletealltweets.com to delete all my tweets instantly. She is trying to delete everything. After this, someone comes up on the account and says, sorry to whoever got involved in this. I just had to go through various identification stages, get my old email address back. Apparently, she's saying her account was hacked. Next, someone asks about, Null, anything behind the scenes that would make this more, you'd shed some light on things. Null says she communicated in private a lot of details that were doled out over time. Nothing incredulous like what came in 2018. She provided some screenshot of the end of a contract with blotted out areas for signatories, something that could have been whipped up in MS Word in 15 minutes. Blah, blah. The thing that was really convincing is that she had this page on an escort website that obviously had strong financial incentive to vet their girls and a very long internet footprint and evidence that she had known about DSP on her Twitter account before even the first "This is how you don't play." In fact, now that I think about it, the fucking tweet from 2013-14 about Phil couldn't have been forged. So what the fuck? Was she just a fan of DSP? That's what's insane about this, is that she was connected on Twitter with DSP since 2013. King Jad says, some insane Dutch person fooled a lot of people, simply put. And he was right. He was right on this one. Tennessee Girl says, some of you are calling me a troll and all kinds of stuff. All the kinds of stuff. Owe me an apology. You probably won't apologize, but I was up all night worrying about my friend. And now you're backtracking saying, oh, I knew she was a fake all along. Goutside Phil saying, Tennessee Girl talking to Kimberly says, she's so full of shit, acting like she was hacked. No, she stole those pictures. My friend is fuming right now. Tennessee Girl. I wanted to show this. Someone on January 17th said to Mystery Girl, she should have taken those Bitcoins, even though they're almost worthless now. Oh, you're right about that. Anyways, Mystery Woman then, in a full turn, she's totally done, taking off the costume, taking off the mask, and now she says, thank you, the suns will rise again, I'll be back. And the suns she's speaking of in this case are the sons of Kojima. DSP will tweet it and say, for those not in the loop, the fake Escort Saga has finally come to a close. Thanks to all who actually believed and supported me as usual. And to those who actually believed the slander with zero evidence, congrats on looking in the mirror and seeing this today. So felted. War Dog Leader says, you mean like the sheep who give you money without evidence of you needing tax money? I mean, you can't call these people sheep without evidence when all your fans have is your word of mouth. Just saying, it works both ways. Well, War Dog Leader, he'd get a response. And there's a difference of good faith based on 10 years of giving away gaming content for free and never asking for fundraising before needing it, and completely baseless accusations. You can't reason your way out of being an idiot. Idiot! Got him! The Escort's website was taken down and then briefly showed this instead. Fred Fox, leader of the SOK, who had recently fallen out. But definitely some trolling going on here in the situation. Mystery Woman starts posting on the way out. It ain't over till the fat pig sings, Hallelujah, I surrender. To be continued. Schaffen would then say, first son of the Falcon. There's a bit of a meme about being a falcon or whatever. Null says the following as his kind of fadeaway closeout. Here's what we know from the Kiwi Farms. Their consistent use of Dutch non-proxy IPs. Language is consistent with someone who has English as a second language and not very smart, tricked by trolls offsite and brought their stories here. From the Escort site, it was a page verified by third-party agency that requires photo and government ID, contained a huge history and portfolio of work. On Twitter, she was controlled by Mystery Woman. Contained tweets regarding being a fan of DSP, predating the first This Is How You Don't Play. Contained tweets regarding escort work, including links to the Escort site. Contained tweets regarding family, actively engaged DSP. From Phil's side, right, what we believe, Phil was massively overreacted to this whole thing, as he does, as you can expect. The presence of Escort coincides very conveniently with back taxes and mystery girlfriend, and he literally never once said the name. I don't agree with that number 3, But I will agree that Philip massively overreacted and was never seemed confident with his debunks, right? She then said, if hacking doesn't do Twitter account, blah, 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 she's going to auto way out. This is her final post on Kiwi Farms. Totally fine, I will leave and give the exclusive coverage elsewhere of DSP and his non-existing tax accountant, his non-existing tax problems, his pretty high bank account with more and more money going in than out. Stay DSP positive because let's face it, if you can't live without him, and after we are done, there won't be any more DSP to make fun of online because he will have no more Twitch or YouTube income. So we'll have to get a regular job, but keep supporting the scam that is DSP. Good luck and have fun while it lasts. That was her final message to everyone. Some people theorize about the origins. Now, someone obviously starts looking into stuff, and there was a lot of bot Twitter accounts sending out weird URLs that are often made to try to get people's accounts hacked, right? And as you can see here, Kimberly Brink shows up on one of these, and that could very well be how her account got stolen back in 2011. All right, that's when it might have happened, but that's just speculation at this point. Don't click any links you don't know. Okay, guys, that's the key point. Now, they did find another account attached to this person. Now we're really getting the castle's falling down now in a big way. So Angelina Capri was found to be linked to that email, I believe, and that's how they found out Angelina Capri. More brownies. This for the meme there. There is more brownies here. The brownies thing continues. The person that was in charge of kind of this Kiwi Farms thread says, I'm waiting for more information from my Russian connection. Sounds kind of ominous, right? Sounds ominous. Sounds ominous. But the Russians have delivered. I have a name, phone number, and street address in the Netherlands. The name appears to be fictitious. The address appears to be the same town that mystery woman said she lived in. Okay? King Jad chimes in here and says, I must commend that guy for their commitment to chasing the loose ends. I don't think it's any real secret of his belief in the authenticity of the individual, at least So for things to have unraveled as they did, I'm not surprised at their relentless pursuit of the truth. He did find it. He did find the truth. And this was finally, the thread was ended because it clearly was proven all false. And Null sends this email to DSP himself. I will read this email to you here. Hi, Phil. My name's Josh. I run the Kiwi Farms. I love drama. I also fucking hate being lied to. I should explain I have no beef with you and just conduct my website. It's my business. When people have an interesting story, I attempt to verify. Being wrong makes the site look bad. Truth is always more fun than fiction. The Escort story had steam to it because the Escort's identity had tweets mentioning you going back 4 years before the first This Is How You Don't Play. The Escort profile itself had its identity verified by a third party. Every single thing they said was impossible to disprove. But it fell apart in January when she claimed, and no one believed, you had raped someone. See? No one believed that shit. That was the turning point, kind of. I think that's when Mystery Woman went too far with her accusation. The people say, all right, this is kind of insane. You know? And she had no proof of it, and that's really when things stepped it up. People stepped it up too, and they're looking into things. That threw her entire story off balance, and people began looking for what was going on. The problem was, no matter what holes we found, the original evidence was solid. There was definitely a long-running Escort profile, and that Escort's involvement in DSP fandom had roots all the way back to 2014. The truth? You ready for this? Sitting down? You were right. They were professional catfishers, a husband-wife Dutch couple using random girls' pics to get money and Amazon wishlist items. They were genuine fans of yours in 2014, but turned detractor, then decided to use their extensive catfishing profile against you. I don't know if they were just fucking with you or trying to extort you, but their scam has been thoroughly destroyed and tied back to their real identities. I know you don't want to visit my site, so this is an archive of the full details on a third-party site. It totally exonerates you. DSP has this printed on the fridge. Of course, scammers were fans of his. Yep. Another prime example of DSP fans being completely and utterly degenerate fucks. Okay, this is the Full docs is out. Obviously, there's a whole thread on the full docs. The whole thing got doxed. I will read this part. The scammers were finally unmasked after more than a decade when they attempted to use this website to promote a fraudulent story at the expense of a real person. They had used their extensive web presence and fake escort profiles going back 10 years to promote a story that a popular video game player had hired a woman's escort services but refused to pay. It is unclear what their endgame was, but it was either a cruel practical joke at the expense of this random man, that's DSP, or was an attempt to extort him out of thousands of dollars. The end result of their lives was that their victim risked many of his fans and financial supporters at a time when he was in financial trouble already. If the scammers had succeeded, he could have lost his house over a lie. The news had to be told to his girlfriend, and it would have been entirely reasonable for her to leave him over the incident. No sticking up for DSP here. The scam only came apart, ironically, due to the scope of this possible extortion attempt. When the news of the escort problems Phil was facing at mainstream internet drama channels, someone recognized the face of the alleged escort and identified it as an honest woman from America, not the Netherlands, as she was purported to be from. When this woman came out and provided government identification refuting the story, the mystery woman vanished and deleted everything they could, but it was already too late for their scam. The fake escort's identity was linked back to another fake woman, Angelina Capri. The identity was much older than the Kimberly Brink's name, and she had made a fatal error. In registering a domain name and putting up an Amazon wish list to swindle patrons with, they had revealed their true identities. When the domain was registered, a simple mistake was made. They seemed to have used their real name and address. After a period of approximately 1 day, presumably once the domain went live, they seemed to have noticed that their mistake and changed the registry information to that of the domain provider hosting company. But it was too late. Turns out, Mr. Patrick here just happens to live in that place where Mystery Woman came from. He's also married to a wonderful woman named that. They supposedly have 3 children, but for some reason like to spend their married life making up false identities for reasons which aren't readily discernible. It's not likely they made too much money scamming people, but it's impossible to say how much. And that was it. Interesting other things of note, kind of fadeaway things here. There was the Patrick person that came out with the doxing was found to be in DSP's chat during this time, and he mentions a strap-on. You can't make it up. I'm just telling you the facts. As you can see here on the 19th of December, he says, the rectal strap-on. What did I miss? Yesterday when he won the game was great. Now he loses and the game sucks. What is going on? This is when this Patrick guy was in chat trolling it. Okay? And one final message from this Patrick gentleman. Blah, blah, blah. He says, Philly, who is Lily, the escort lady that posted a Tumblr story about you? Is there any truth to what she writes about you? Even your address is listed on it, man. This was someone trying to add to it, I think. Trying to add to the scam by pretending to be a fan. While in reality, he's actually the husband of the real Kimberly. Not the real Kimberly Brink, but the fake escort person. So there we go. Now, I have a few more videos here to go through. So after, I'm not going to play the rest of the drama is over shit, but let's go through a little bit of how DSP has talked about it through the years. All right. So this is videos from January 22nd, 2018. Okay. And he says how trolls cost me a sponsorship. Okay. So this is a year later after the whole escort thing is now done. Here we go.
You would find out that it's wrong. You'd find out, okay, maybe it's based on a snippet of truth, but what people actually say on a website like the lolcow website, wiki, or whatever the fuck it is not factually true. All right? There's things that have been massively disproven just by asking me a question and me explaining the situation.
Okay.
But I don't deal with that shit. I'm here to be a positive streamer. I'm here to be here every day, put out fun and entertaining content for you, not to deal with all the negative shit that they spent. For a month, I was just accused of having an escort come over here. And, you know, me not paying for an escort. And for a month this went on, only for it finally just recently to be revealed that the whole thing was a catfishing attempt against me. See what I mean? And
how was that revealed, Philip?
Which happens all the time. Most of the shit that you see on the internet, right, is false.
Fake.
Phil's a pedophile. Wrong. Produce evidence. No evidence. But we'll just keep saying it. Phil, stole from his fans. Wrong. Produce evidence that I ever stole anything from anyone. Oh, well, we'll spin this.
You pointed that out last time. You didn't do the Patreon goal
situation over here that wasn't really the case to sound like it was.
Okay,
See what I mean? And this happens all the fucking time. And I'm tired of it. Quite frankly, I'm very tired of it because
he's tired of it. He's never going to let it happen again. Moving on, we'll go to same day, actually. Same day.
Well, let me load some stuff here quick.
Same exact day.
Save the House says, well, how did the Escort Saga end? Did the trolls concede? No, it was proven. Dude, you missed the big event. It was proven. A girl basically looked at the pictures of the supposed escort and said, wait a minute, I know that girl.
What big event, Philip? Oh, you missed the big event.
Girl, she's my friend and she lives in Tennessee. This is bullshit. That's not an escort. And the girl basically blew the whole situation up and exposed that the escort was fake. And then the escort, after doing some research, everyone found out it was a catfish account. People who lived in the Netherlands for 10 years.
Who found that out, Philip?
Had been trolling and or
Who found that
people
out?
And extorting people for money and doing all kinds of nasty shit to people for like a decade.
Man, I wonder who found that out.
So the whole thing blew up on its own face, and now no one cares anymore. Basically, everyone's like, all right, whatever. Phil was right. He was right all along.
Phil was right all along. Yeah. He did see, some people were saying that. Some people, it was pretty funny on Kiwi Farms. You could see people were saying like, guys, I hate to do this, but I have to let you know DSP was right in this case. Just saying like, yeah, you were right in that people were trying to catfish you. Yes. Which he would have learned if, a lot of things led to the downfall. Who knows who posted it on Reddit, but because they posted the shit on Reddit, that's what got it noticed. You know what I mean? If it would never posted on Reddit, would they ever have found it? They were running the scam for 5 years, man. 5 years stolen pictures. That's insane.
So that Escort Saga's over.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to talk about it again,
let's
right?
See here.
You're definitely not going to talk about it anymore?
So my apologies. Mr. Goody Good, to the 25-bit says, tell me a bedtime story. Once there was a man who lived in the Netherlands.
See?
Who decided that he would pretend to be...
He's done talking about it, by the way. This is out of nowhere. Someone asked for a bedtime story, and this is what he chose to say.
A bunch of young girls to catfish people on the internet. He would spend the greater part of a decade stealing people's pictures off of social media, scamming people into sending him money, sending out disgusting videos of his wife shoving baseball bats up her vagina, even though she was a disgusting rhino-like beast in real life.
How could I handle this one? Well, pictures of her have been released. Okay, and she is a little bit bigger. But that's as far as I'm taking it.
Pretending that this woman was actually the escort girls. Until one day, he fucked with the wrong guy. That's right, it was Dark Side Phil and his worldwide reach that would allow the man to finally be taken down and exposed for the loser that he was.
In fact, it was gumption of the Kiwi farmers that would lead to this stopping and really be putting to an end, right? But okay, definitely. Once he talked about the SA stuff, that's really when it turned. And people were like, this is not... We're ready for some proof now, and they just could never provide it.
There you go. There's the story. Yes. Great story.
All right, next up. He's done talking about it, I promise.
Here comes the drama cheer, everyone. But it's a question, so I'll address it. He says, The Secret Life of DSP. If you guys aren't aware, for 2 years now, he's made the worst of DSP gaming series. Total negative video about me on YouTube, and it got hundreds of thousands of views both years.
Yes, it always does. He's talking about Secret Limited's video right here. And it has 613,000 views as we speak now. Okay? There we go. That's what he's talking about, just so you know. Go ahead.
He says, he made an announcement 2 days ago. He's retired from making any type of DSP videos. If he changed the thumbnail of his current video, would you unban him as a sign of being above the negativity? He's very sorry and will never make a DSP video ever again. By the way, if you want to know, I think the reason he did it is because a big chunk of his current video about me is about the escort, which wasn't real. But he made a big chunk of his video, which now has over 100,000 views about it.
Yeah.
So basically, he's been passing mass slander about me that's not true, and I think he feels bad about it now.
Okay.
He's also, what kind of...
Let's see that section, actually. That might be worth it.
Basically, since the summer, you know, I've been seeing someone on and off And the reason is because I've been taking that time to spend some time with my girlfriend. And boom, immediately a bomb has been dropped. Everyone's probably like, oh, what the fuck? What? You're doing what? With who and how and what? What? What the hell? I got
So that's her website. Remember, all these pictures are stolen.
sub from someone, I don't even know what it said. Phil's dating and oh, it's just stupid insults. These idiots. I got it. This is hilarious. You guys will get a quick laugh. So, ever since I announced over a week ago that I have a girlfriend, I've had a girlfriend since the summer, and I was going to be spending time with her during my time off. These people who, they literally have nothing going on in their personal lives whatsoever, all right? They're just so pathetic. They have no personal lives, nothing interesting to occupy them, so they have to get into mine. They're trying to say that apparently my girlfriend is a paid escort. What? It's just insanity. So I just got a troll sub from someone claiming Phil's dating an escort named Kim. Sure I am.
Guilty or not guilty?
That's it. So what did Philip say again, by the way? That was it. So what?
His current video, would you unban him as a sign of being above the negativity videos?
Listen to what Philip said again. That was it, by the way. That was it. I played you the escort segment.
If he changed the thumbnail of his current video, would you unban him as a sign of being above the negativity? He's very sorry and will never make a DSP video ever again. By the way, if you want to know, I think the reason he did it is because a big chunk of his current video about me is about the escort, which wasn't real, but he made a big chunk of his video, which now has over 100,000 views about it. So basically, he's been passing mass slander about me that's not true, and I think he feels bad about it now.
Okay, so a big chunk of his video. The big chunk of this 2-hour and 52-minute long video is 2 minutes.
He says, also, what kind of detractors are worthy of receiving the olive branch you mentioned earlier this week? Keep up the work and God bless. Listen, right now,
Kevin?
Sorry, his video is slanderous. He has a giant segment in it about an escort that doesn't exist.
2 minutes.
And I've been completely exonerated. So the only way that I would forgive him is if he took the video down.
Okay, well, that's not happening. Okay, next up. A little bit later, this is February.
And I've persevered through it all because of your support. So, Infinite, when you ask me, what is it that I ultimately use to motivate myself to keep going? How is it that I can stay positive on a consistent basis, but still cope with the negative shit, right? Is it ignoring the people to some extent? Yes. There are some people that just want to get a rise. All right, and they need to be ignored. I just say there's things that have happened to me over the years I've never mentioned on purpose because there's no point.
Okay.
If every time someone did a stupid prank, if every time I got a crank phone call, I mentioned it and I complained about it, it would never stop. It gives those people the attention that they want and they think that they deserve. So why am I going to be bothered with that kind of shit? On the flip side, there's some stuff that if you just completely ignore it, it blows up. For example, the escort situation. For a month, people fabricated a complete story that there was an escort. Didn't exist. And I said outright, it doesn't exist. Anyone who believes it is a complete fucking moron.
Yes.
And guess what? I was 100% vindicated because I told the truth, like I always do.
But while doing it, you talked about it for literally 30 minutes a clip every time. If it was something that you really didn't do, it'd be pretty simple to say, I didn't do that and move on. But how he explained it away every time, 30 minutes, and knowing the code of escorts, that's a little wild, right? That doesn't help people believe your story.
And he says, what is the craziest thing that you ever heard people say about you or say something about you? Well, you guys certainly know a lot of the crazy things.
Oh, definitely.
All right, that people say and do in regards to me. Probably two of the craziest are things that happened just recently. Because here's the thing. People, when my ex-girlfriend accused me of going out with a girl who was underage, which was a lie, never happened. She was always of age when I was dating her and stuff like that. Phil's a scam artist. What? Okay, prove it. And there's no proof whatsoever. It's just completely, things that are based on snippets of fact that are completely spun out of proportion and not true, whatever. And when I tell the full story, people are like, that's really what happened? Yeah, that's really what happened, but people don't want to say that. They want to make up shit, right? But that stuff is just normal stuff. The two things that probably were the craziest, number one, that I had a escort that I was paying to come visit me and pretend to be my girlfriend. And that during the holidays or during December, the time that I took off, I was spending with an escort. And the fact that apparently I was spending money that I was raising on my streams for an escort rather than for taxes, which is what I was trying to raise it for. Just crazy shit like that. It's insanity. And the thing is, none of it was based on any snippet of truth. There was no factual evidence.
He clearly is not reading what Null tried to get across in his message to him. There was absolutely truth in it. That's why it lasted so long, is because there was a lot of coincidences that could not be explained away. As in, why was there... It's very interesting. There was talking on Discord, on Twitter, with DSP between this person on 2 different accounts. 2 different accounts. Going back to 2013.
It was not anything because it was completely fabricated.
It was not it's not completely fabricated.
100% fake. It wasn't like, oh, there was a little bit of base of fact that we based on. It was complete bullshit.
I guess the top line thing is he was catfished, but like a lot of the details were things that actually fucking happened and are confirmed. You know, they had messages going back years. This wasn't some random person.
And it was complete identity theft and catfishing. But the people who make this shit up and spread these rumors about me are so fucking dumb that they believed it and they bought it hook, line, and sinker because they're that stupid. No,
they didn't. So many people didn't believe it. That led to the thread on Kiwi Farms going to like how many fucking pages it did because people wanted to find out if it was true or not. Yeah. He thinks that detractors were a part of it. Like we set it up or something. When in reality, for 99% of the people that were in that fucking thread, they're just trying to figure out what's true and what's not true. And when someone said insane shit, people were like, fuck off, where's the proof? Or get out of here. As what happened to her herself. Kimberly Brink herself made crazy accusations. People were like, all right, man, this is kind of too much.
They're that ignorant and stupid, they all bought it.
Nope, that is just false.
For months, it was 2 months, where this bullshit lie.
It was a month and 4 days, I think.
Lie and rumor was pushed along and spread about all this, right?
Yeah, and Null emailed Philip personally to say they figured it out. Here's all the shit you want to say, and you were right. But yet we have to just forget about that.
Ridiculously dumb. And so I received a $5 tip from Numa saying, "Do you think that the reason that my Christmas marathon wasn't successful this year, like it was in 2017, was because there was no controversy going on with the escort, and so people weren't intrigued to tune in and make fun of me and shit?" I mean.
So was the Christmas marathon not so successful because there wasn't any controversy this year in 2019? What is he going to say here?
No. I don't think that anyone really cared about the escort thing because people who actually cared about me and who pledged or who donated in my Christmas marathon last year didn't believe that to begin with. They knew it was horseshit. Honestly, what I think it was is this year, like last year, it was a big thing where I knew I had to raise money for my taxes, my state taxes, for January, and if I didn't, that was it. I could have lost my house.
Another year, another tax issue.
I had no way to pay those taxes. And this year, basically, I told everyone, oh, well, I'm in tax trouble, but the tax trouble won't really affect me until by April, because that's when it's due. So I think a lot of people were like, man, it's got till April. You know, it wasn't like immediate urgency.
Man, I'm not that desperate. And my fans recognized that and didn't give as much money.
That Phil needs help right now. It was more like, oh, Phil needs help, but he's still got a lot of time to go. And so there was no feeling of urgency to come and help out. And I think that's what really happened.
They're waiting till I'm in a more desperate situation, as most normal fans do. You know how it goes. Jordan Fadeaway says, even when he's trying to tell the truth, he presents it in such a way that seems like a lie. DSP always self-dented himself. Piggy always be digging. Agree. When he's telling the truth, it sounds like a lie. And he also adds endless details when there doesn't need to be endless details, which is a very common thing people do when they are lying. So, you know, it makes sense why this went the month it did, not the 2 months that DSP says it did. Scoot Towalker says, trying to rewrite the situation so that you win more when you already fucking won is pathological. He really can't. Yeah, he tried to make it the ultra win when just like saying that everyone's dumb is enough, but he endlessly goes back to that. Endlessly. He brought it up when he's interviewing by fucking Keemstar, I think.
Did you know that you took down a catfish empire that lasted 10 years on the internet?
Yes.
I didn't do anything.
He did not take it down. Kiwi Farms did.
Anything. I didn't do a single thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Who did?
What happened was, whoever the fuck these weirdo people are, targeted me in late 2017. This is a true story for those who maybe have only been around for a little bit.
Please,
You didn't know this.
Please.
In 2017, they targeted me and basically tried to make up an entire story that I had used money that I needed for things like taxes and to pay bills that I got from stream viewers, that I'd use it to hire an escort and had this escort flown across the world. Okay, let's see how preposterous this sounds. An escort flown across the globe to come and spend time with me and to pretend to be my girlfriend for several trips, several visits. Okay.
He's again explaining too much. That's not what everyone said. It was, wow, this could be his girlfriend. Oh shit, this person that could be his girlfriend, reminder, person that he interacted with since 2012, could be his girlfriend. And then they extrapolated from that, well, if it's an escort, maybe they did do that. And then the escort started adding details as well. But it's not like it's everyone just decided to believe this is true. Again.
Just think about how nuts this sounds, okay? Then these people, whoever they were, these nut jobs, were pretending to be said escort. They had fake social media accounts that had been long-standing for several years.
Yeah,
okay,
since 2012.
Okay? And were trying to say things based off of basically just listening to my streams. They were trying to say things to pretend like they had actually been here and seen things behind the scenes. Like, for example, this was when I was dating Kat, and Kat wasn't living with me, but every few months she would come visit and spend a few days with me. And she had made me brownies, chocolate brownies. She baked them.
Brownies will live on forever
for me, and they were really good. And I talked about it on a stream. This crazy people who were pretending to be an escort said they had baked me the brownies and posted up a brownie recipe online saying, here's the recipe I made him and stuff. It's just insane. It's absolutely insanity.
That did not happen. There is no part of that is factual that I've seen, and I've seen the whole thread. No one posted an online recipe. He is misremembering. It's his own fan that took the brownie as proof of the escort, but there was no recipe posted online from them, right? What?
Who were pretending to be an escort said they had baked me the brownies and posted up a brownie recipe online saying, here's the recipe I made him and stuff. What? It's just insane. Okay. It's absolutely insanity.
Well,
what were these people trying to do?
No one knows.
I guess long term, maybe what they were trying to do was actually extort me out of money and say, we'll keep this up as long as it goes and tarnish your reputation permanently unless you pay us off to go away. Sad for them. They're so stupid. They didn't realize that so many other assholes had made up shit about me in the past. It didn't matter. People didn't believe it. And the idiots that did were so dumb, it didn't matter. These weren't fans who were supporting me anyway, who believed the dumb shit.
Well, they believe everything you say, as shown by King Jezel. But yes, not everyone believed it. That's far from the truth. Again, I've said 1,000 times, that's not accurate.
My fans didn't give a shit. Said, we've heard this million crazy stuff about Phil before. It's never true. We're just going to ignore the nonsense.
Well, unfortunately, Brightside Viking, Vidar, handed out a few death threats during this time. So clearly he wasn't ignoring it.
And in reality, what ended up happening...
Oh, please. Please.
Was people looked into this and tried to figure out, are these people real? I just kept adamantly denying it and saying, I'm not even going to talk about it on streams anymore. I'm not going to address it because I know it's 100% false. There's not a single piece of fact in there. It's all fabricated bullshit. So at this point, I'm just going to say, no, none of this is true. And I'm not going to bring it up anymore. But this person kept going. So finally someone looked into it.
Who?
And behind the scenes found out that the Twitter was a fake one. It was based on a picture of a real person, a real life person who had their stuff stolen off their own social media accounts. And the whole thing was a catfishing. So the people involved, the real person who was being impersonated got involved with their own police and stuff and basically contacted Twitter. And I guess all the accounts got taken down because they were all proven to be catfish accounts that were illegal. And then people did even more research and found out apparently these people were in Europe. It was a couple, an older couple. Who
just say the name, Philip. Who did this?
Were doing this probably just for jollies, but more than likely they actually were extorting people for years.
Who
for
found
money.
all this out? And where'd you learn this from, Philip? I wonder.
They basically picked the wrong person to fuck with because already I had so many people fuck with me that this thing was so stupid it didn't affect me. But people were like, "Damn, these people really shouldn't be going gung ho, suggesting that this is a real story." we were going to dig deeper. And when they dug deeper, they found all these holes and then found all the shit, and the whole thing fell apart.
And who did all this? Who is they in this case?
So,
I really wonder.
Pretty nuts.
Pretty nuts, man.
Pretty crazy that these crazy people would do shit like this. Someone across the globe who they'd never met, impersonating an escort and claiming that you had paid for an escort several times to try to tarnish your reputation would be like a mind-blowing, crazy event that you'll never believe that it happened, but it's a true story, and it shakes you to your very core. For me, it was Tuesday.
Oh, great joke. That always works.
Because that shit happens to me all the time. Crazy assholes do stupid shit.
Oh, this happens all the time? Okay. This is not something we're going to remember going forward and mention every single chance we get. Fast forwarding massively, 2023.
Listen, you guys know my take on Secret Limited. This is a person who literally would just take stuff completely out of context from my streams and put it into an edited way to make it look dramatic and then make me look bad on the internet, right? And then during the whole time period when the Escort Saga was going on, right, which had no foothold in reality. The Escort Saga was completely fabricated by trolls, detractors, and scam artists. All right?
It was completely fabricated by the scammer themselves, and then other people just found out about them? So it wasn't like, again, he's trying to say, like, detractors just make up stories. That's absolutely not the case.
Person made a video covering it as if it was real. Saying everything was factually true.
That is not true. They said guilty or not guilty at the end as if it was a question.
Now, when it was proven that it was false, what they did is they just changed the thumbnail of the video to take out the face of the woman who was being catfished. That's it. They didn't retract. They didn't fix it. They didn't say this.
It's 2 minutes.
Whole thing was false. Therefore, this video was all drama bullshit, and you guys ate it up and gave me views and money for it. They just changed the thumbnail.
The video is 2 hours and 52 minutes long. The escort section is 2 minutes. Reminder.
Never even had an explanation or anything saying I was wrong to make this video because it was all fake.
2 minutes.
So from that moment on, literally anything that person ever made was trash. It didn't matter what else they did, but every year, like clockwork, they put out a video about me. It's all drama. It's all nonsense. It's out of context. It's all the same regurgitated detractor shit everyone else does. It's trash. It's internet trash.
Okay.
All right? It's literal trash. Everything they've ever done was trash. Okay?
Don't believe anything you've seen from this person because they told the facts of a situation that happened in 2017.
So, that being said, what do you think I'm going to say if you tell me that this person lost their partnership and is retiring from YouTube?
What are you going to say?
What a horrible loss for the internet. Let me tell you, we'll never be able to survive without Secret Limited. I mean, how on earth would we ever get by without someone like that, right?
I still miss them to this day.
You know? But again, I literally have no idea whatsoever what you're talking about. I don't know if it's true or not. I didn't even know the person was ever even partnered. All right. What I would guess is that they were making information that was blatantly slanderous and wrong, and someone finally proved it, and YouTube
That's not true.
took away their partnership because of it. That would be my guess, but I could be completely wrong because I don't follow that account.
Yes, you're right about that. That's definitely wrong because they were just sharing the truth of the matter in that video. But all right, pretty cool. Most recent episode I will share with you today.
So this is the Escort Saga, which I have no involvement with whatsoever. I literally have no involvement with this at all. This is all on my trolls and crazy people, okay? I hired an escort to come visit me during my Christmas break. I paid her you guys like the Phil show? Look at this. Or owe her thousands of dollars, apparently. I don't even know what the full story is because I'm not really following it.
Well, true to her word, Kimberly did know where to release that information too. Over on the forum, Kiwi Farms, a mysterious woman shows up to elaborate on what's going on.
Exactly.
In December 2017, a mysterious woman claiming to be a high-end escort with a history with Phil was claiming that Phil had not paid her, and if she did not receive the money owed, then she would release all the details of the event. And so she did. On Kiwi Farms, she developed a somewhat shallow story of Phil taking her out to dinner and spending a fair amount of money on her. Sprinkled in are notes about his bad credit, his disappointing manhood, and general notes on his house.
Yeah. Yes.
The Kiwi Farms users were highly skeptical, but even so were enjoying the chaos this person was causing. But day after day of not providing a single piece of evidence and users finding strange inconsistencies in her story, it was clear that the pieces were not fitting.
No, I'm going to be honest here.
What?
This is complete bullshit.
Why?
They totally entertained this for many, many months.
Philip, the entire thread lasted a month. The entire thread about the escort lasted a month.
And never really complained. And then all of a sudden, like, one person actually researched it and found out the truth. And then other people started researching.
Okay, completely bullshit. I'll show you the first time. I showed it to you here, but I'll show it to you again because we got to finish. The first post of Mystery Woman was December 15th, 2017. The final post of the entire thing, it's over, happened on January 15th, where Null sends this to Philip as the last post. The entire thread lasted a month and 2 days. But yes, please tell me about how it lasted for months, Philip.
They spin it to this day. Oh, we're the reason we found out that this was fake.
Yes.
I told you it was fake.
I can say everything. The sky's red. Until someone proves it, it doesn't matter what I say, though, right?
I told you there's literally no evidence whatsoever. It's all circumstantial. You made it up. But no one wants to believe Phil. Everyone wants to
Because you'd rather see proof.
believe the negative dramatic about Phil. There
Yes.
wasn't a single piece of evidence this person ever presented that wasn't just circumstantial, and it proved nothing. But people hate me so much, they all believed it for like many months.
The thread lasted a month and 2 days. I want to reiterate that point.
And then after many months of this going on, someone finally wised up and figured the whole thing out, which is fucked up that I get basically shat on for so many months for absolutely no reason and no evidence.
Okay.
It was only after users discovered that the images were not of this person's origin that she comes out and says she was hacked. It was not her at all. It was a catfish using her Twitter with stolen images. It was quite easy to find the domain registry, and with it came the identity. The culprits quickly tried to amend this information, but it had already been archived.
Yes.
The original registry had their full name, address, phone number, and their email. This gave the Kiwi Farms users everything they needed, and soon the culprits were fully doxxed, including their cat. Revealed and archived was their personal YouTube channel, one of their daughter's YouTube channels, Twitter's, photo buckets, a lengthy history of information that was more than enough
There's the rhino, by the way.
anyone needed to confirm this married couple ran an extortion and impersonation racket.
Just think about that.
Yep.
A married couple is running an extortion and impersonation racket.
Yeah.
And apparently what they were trying to do was get so much negative shit out there about me that then they were going to blackmail me into paying
who
them
knows?
money.
We don't know their fucking motives
They
here.
didn't realize, ladies and gentlemen, is that they already were fucking with the most hated man on the internet, so I didn't give two fucks what they said about me. They ruined themselves by, instead of, you know what I mean? Like, they could have went for this fruit or this fruit. They touched the fucking immune fruit, the spiky ass fruit. They reached out. Oh, my hand's stuck. Oh, I can't get my hand off this. What's going on? It's a trap. It's a fucking trap. And that's exactly what happened. You can't fuck with me because I've already been fucked with so much by everyone. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm completely immune to anyone saying shit about me because you've already said the lowest thing about
So immune that it took the Kiwi Farms to find out that it was false to put the story to rest.
me possible. So they fucked themselves. Who even knows? For the record, they never actually like personally wrote me. I'm assuming that was coming. If they didn't get blown up like this, they probably would have, which is
All
pretty...
right, that will do it. We got to call it there because he has started. But that was the Escort Saga. What a trip. What a saga. I think that's like the most intricate one ever, in terms of side characters, side plots. But it only happened in the scope of a month. It's wild. It's a month. But anyway.
Fun over. Time for the pre-stream.